I'm going to do is just in the chat, we'll get a poll going to see what your thoughts are. See if you think we could get that title change. Does feel like we need to get the belt off Bron at some point in the first part of this year. Whether we do that before WrestleMania or after WrestleMania, I'm not sure. Because I don't know that they'll have any plans for Bron Breakker this side of WrestleMania. So it might be that he retains tonight and drops it a little further down the road. But there is a chance that he is going to drop it tonight, and then maybe they keep him around without the belt, or they call him up and use him in the Rumble and find a little something for him to do. I don't think it'll be anything major if he does get called up, but I think almost certainly he's going to be in the Rumble. I would be so surprised if they don't use Bron in the Rumble. The only thing is he can still be in NXT for that. He doesn't have to leave NXT for that. But I do think we're at the point where, like, I can definitely see him losing it. So it's hard to know whether it'll be tonight or not. I'm probably leaning towards no. Like, I'm probably maybe 70-30 towards no. But that is growing now that we're in 2023. Every time he defends the belt now, as long as it's had a good build and it's a decent name that he's taken on, then I could see him losing it. I really could. So there is more than a seed of doubt that's in my mind regarding tonight. But as we said, you know, I think they've got a big show coming up, haven't they? Vengeance Day. But saying that, he could lose the belt here and then do the rematch at Vengeance Day, trying to win it back. Or he could retain tonight and finally drop the belt at Vengeance Day. Vengeance Day is a big show. So, you know, it could be that he loses the title there and you do the title change there instead. Oh, let me put the thing in and I'll jump in the chat, see what you lot think. Will Bron lose his championship tonight? Will Bron lose his championship tonight? Right, boom. Ping that out and let's go up. Pop this out. Need to get chat on screen, which we can do. A little bit late getting to this, so that's why things are a little bit messy. Here we go. Right, the poll is in the chat now, so you can vote away. We've got other matches tonight, of course, as well. There is a Battle Royal. James said Steph has left WWE. Is that breaking news, is it? Is that breaking news? Steph has left WWE. Have a look. Oh, yeah. 29, half an hour ago. Then Now Forever Together. Wow. Okay. Let me, this warrants a video, doesn't it? Let's have a look. I tell you what, I'm going to, I'll do a quick video on this and we will read it together because I have not seen this. I was just doing Wrestling Escape Pods, so I haven't had a chance to see this yet. Let's go here. Wow, that is going to have very interesting repercussions. That's going to dominate the conversation, isn't it? Let's go. Let's see what we can find. Bum, 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 bum. Bear with.
I never needed you at all. I never needed
you at all. Watch me shine now. Watch me. See, it's working. It's working. Let me see if I can get to that. Here it is. Trent said Steph has stepped down. Trent, appreciate it, buds. Massive breaking news then coming out of WWE. This statement has come out from Steph literally about 30 minutes ago. Big shout out to James Chadwick for letting me know. So this is the first time I'm seeing this. Basically, it says, Dear WWE Universe, about 8 months ago, took a leave of absence unexpectedly. I had the opportunity of a lifetime, had the privilege to return as co-CEO. Can't put into words how proud I am of leading what I consider to be the greatest company in the world alongside other strong executives. Here we go. Our founder, Vince McMahon, has returned as executive chair and is leading an exciting process regarding strategic alternatives. And with Nick's leadership and Paul Triple H as chief content officer, I am confident WWE is in the perfect place to continue to provide unparalleled creative content and drive maximum value for shareholders. WWE is in such a strong position. I have decided to return to my leave and take it one step further with an official resignation. She is done. So she's not just temporarily leaving, she is gone for good. I look forward to cheering on WWE from the other side of the business, where I started when I was a little kid as a pure fan. I will always remain dedicated to WWE. I truly love our company, our employees, our superstars, and our fans. And I am grateful to our partners. Thanks for everything. Then, now, forever together. I mean, this is the first time I'm seeing it. And obviously, there's going to be a real scramble for more information here. It seems like Vince has come back and he's taken that kind of chairman position, executive chair. And so it seems like Vince has inserted himself right back at the top. I'll tell you what really surprises me, the fact that they're not stopping Vince. They can't seemingly stop Vince from just doing whatever he wants. I mean, I suppose it's because he's an 80-odd% majority shareholder, which, I thought there would be more barriers. I thought that there would be a way of stopping him, but it seems like if he really wants to do something, seemingly there isn't. And seemingly he can just, do whatever it is he wants. I must stress, I mean, look, this still makes it clear that Triple H is in charge of content. So I must stress that it does seem like Triple H is going to remain in that role. I think if Steph was going from her position and he wanted to get, Triple H out, I think they probably would have made a statement where they both leave at the same time. Or there'll be a statement that comes out very soon about Triple H, because I think they would want to get it done together as quick as possible if Vince wanted or was interested in going after the content position. I don't know that he is, to be honest. I think he is focused. On the sale and finding, the new TV rights and sorting out the new media rights. Why Steph has to go, though, I don't know. Maybe because Vince is back now, it means that she can go. Perhaps she wants to go. I mean, it could be that Vince is back. Vince is doing the job. Steph feels like she's not really needed. Perhaps she was quite up for leaving. And obviously she ended up coming back. I mean, she did have a leave of absence. Perhaps she knows the sale is imminent. There's no point saying that she's going to come back if she knows the company will be sold. I don't know. I mean, there's so much that you can read into this. I mean, obviously, it could be a bit more hostile than that, and it might be that she's been booted out because maybe she wasn't doing a brilliant job. Perhaps Vince came back, didn't like what he saw. Obviously, it's hard to know what their relationship is like, but I think their relationship has always been very strong. They've always seemingly been very close. I've got no doubt whatsoever that they would have been in constant communication while Steph was in that position. So I don't think Vince is going to be finding things that he doesn't like. But, I mean, look, Vince is power hungry, isn't he? I mean, Vince is someone that wants to be in control, wants to be in charge. So I don't know that he is necessarily interested in having to get things signed off by Steph, because I think things would have to be signed off by her. I think he probably just wants to get back into that position where, he's got the power, he's got the final say. He's the one in control. His signature is the one that's going to sign everything off. And perhaps, it just makes Steph feel a little bit like a spare wheel. But I don't know. I mean, look, we can sit and speculate till the cows come home. The big news is she's gone, and she's seemingly gone for good, which, if you think about Steph's career in WWE, I believe her first job was advertising T-shirts back in the catalogs, back in like the 1980s. I remember a picture of her wearing a Rockers T-shirt. So, this is massive, massive news that she is gone. It's not just a leave. It is an official resignation. She is done. So it is massive, massive news. But, yeah, obviously the coming days will reveal the reasons why. But those are a few early thoughts. Massive, innit? That is big. Appreciate everyone that told me about that. That's it's funny actually because we did a wrestling escape pod last week, right? We do a podcast every week, and I did a wrestling escape pods episode last week where we were doing predictions for the year, and we did this video. It was around about 15 minutes long, and we just had some fun with it, and we did these predictions, and of course we didn't predict that Vince was going to be coming back, was going to take over the company and try and sell it and all that kind of stuff. We did talk about Vince, but we didn't cover that. And I couldn't put the video up as a result because of the fact that we hadn't spoken about, this thing that literally happened on the day the video was meant to go out. And now this has happened. I mean, the knock-on effects of what happened last week is absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. What that Vince return is having seismic, and obviously it won't be the only news, will it? I mean, obviously there could be a sale. There could be more people that leave. As I just said in that video, it might be that Triple H goes. But I don't think Vince is back to run content. I really don't. I really, really don't. I think he is looking for that sale, and I don't think he's looking to. I don't think he's looking to run the show. Right, let me get to that super chat in a second. It's the only problem when you get so much big breaking news. It's hard to get to everything. Let's see if I can just download this. Yeah, big though. Big. I mean, I know that she was not in that position for very long, but it's the fact that she's gone for good.
I never needed you at all. I never needed you.
Watch me shine now. Watch me shine now. Right, let's try and get to these super chats, shall we? Elliot said, Steph has resigned. Vince tried to come back in December. Steph has resigned as Vince tried to come back in December. They refused. Vince has forced it. Means she is powerless. More allegations come in my opinion, says Elliot. Anna said, Steph leaving is a massive hit to the women's division. She has been a big driving force and has been very vocal for female talent. That's an excellent point. Trying to think about what the repercussions of this could be. The female division could take a hit. The only thing is, though, I mean, it's Triple H that's doing the booking. So, that's going to mean that I think what you see on TV, I don't think is going to massively change. I mean, I could be really naive on that front, of course, and things could end up changing. But I feel like Vince is very focused on the sale. I think he's very focused on the sale, and I think that I don't know that he's necessarily going to have time to worry about what the product looks like right now. I'll tell you the big thing, though, that I'm thinking, and that is, even though I think that Vince is focused on the sale, what if he doesn't get the sale? What if he doesn't get the sale? what happens then? Because then Vince is around, doesn't have a sale, and, he's in charge of the company again. And he will absolutely, undoubtedly take over creative then. I've got no doubt about that. At that point, he will take over creative. So I think right now, everything's okay. But if they don't find a buyer, if they don't actually secure that sale, then I think there's a problem. Because then we are looking at it being a case that Vince is going to be kicking around with nothing to do. Steph found out that jolly old Saint Nick is better than her at the job. That's why she resigns. Hopefully Vince doesn't mess everything up, the Bray story or Roman losing soon. I think, to be honest, I trust Vince with the Roman story. That's not a problem because this Roman story started under Vince. So let's say worst case scenario, Vince comes back and starts booking the show, right? I've got no concerns about Roman. I would have concerns in regards to Bray. I think the Bray would be a toxic situation, and I don't know. I mean, look, they didn't work well together. They didn't work well together before, and seemingly they wouldn't work well together again. I do have to keep stressing this, though. I think we're a long way away from that. I don't think that's something that's going to be happening anytime soon. I think that he is here to work on that sale, and I think that it's going to be a case that he is going to focus on that. The problem will be if he doesn't get that sale. If he doesn't get the sale, then I think it becomes an issue. What are your thoughts on the Jay White situation, says Hasib? I think the Jay White situation was mentioned last night. I can't remember who mentioned it, but someone said it was weird actually, because someone said in the watch along last night during Raw about Jay White, and my reaction to that was, I haven't heard anything about him potentially leaving, but he'd be a great addition if he did come in. And I know that Triple H is interested. He was interested a few years ago, so knew that it was going to be, a big signing if he could get him. And then today, it's been absolutely everywhere. Today, all the news has been about Jay White. It's been the biggest story until literally half an hour ago. And then half an hour ago, this became obviously the biggest story. And I think that there's rumors that he's got a few dates lined up with New Japan later in the year, which I don't know if that's true or not. Fightful aren't reporting that. But it was being reported that he had some dates lined up with New Japan. I saw that. I can't remember who reported that. I think it was like Wrestling Inc. or someone reported that he had a few dates lined up later in the year. So at the moment, it's just a case that people feel like he could come to America. I mean, you've got to remember that in his mind and his point of view, it's best for him to cause as much carnage as possible, like to really put doubt out there, to start a bidding war. It's in his best interest. So if I'm Jay White, I'm also doing whatever I can to spread rumors that I'm interested in leaving. I want to drum up interest. I want to get bidding going. And honestly, then I'll look at my options. So it's really going to come down to, what's offered at the end of the day. I don't know that it's as simple as, right, I'm going to WWE now. Yeah. Obviously, right now, thoughts are more with the Stephanie McMahon situation. Let me put the tweet out. Massive. That is massive. Let's tag. Well, we won't tag, but Vince and Steph probably both need to be mentioned. Right. Yeah, if you do hear
I never
anything,
needed
feel
you
free
at
to
all.
put it in the chat.
I never
Never
needed you.
needed you at all. Let's try and get to that. Bang, bang, bang. Here's the thing. I think Steph always wanted to leave. She was just a placeholder, said Mitchell. I think Paul is going to remain content holder. Vince seemed to be grooming him for that. I think Vince wants a buyer. That doesn't change positions. So, what you think, Vince? Really appreciate the support, Mitchell. I appreciate everyone that's sent in super chats, Mitchell, Anna as well.
I never needed you at all.
People really firing in
I
super
never
chats.
needed you.
But yeah, really appreciate the support. I think that's really interesting. I think the point you've made is really interesting. You know, maybe he does want a buyer, and maybe he does want to stay on board. That was actually something I heard discussed on Jim Cornette's podcast. It was discussed that he might want, because Vince only knows WWE. He's been in WWE since the 70s, and he's been owner since the early 80s, and he doesn't know anything else. Even though he's had plenty of side projects, he this is his life. This is everything for Vince. So it is difficult to know what he would do, and I think difficult for him to know what he would do with his remaining years. He's not the kind of person that's going to retire. He's not the kind of person at this stage in his life, I think, that's going to want to start afresh and start something new. I think it's one thing to have a little side project and dare I say, a hobby, but it's something completely different to leave WWE and start something and that be your full focus. I don't know. I mean, I just don't think that's ever been a motivation. He's never wanted to do that. All the shoot interviews have said, Vince will work until the day he dies. He's a workaholic. He's put his blood, sweat, tears, years into WWE. I think it's a really interesting point, the one about he might want a buyer that gives him loads of money. I don't know what for, though. Generational wealth? I don't know. So that his kids and grandkids, I don't think that's even a motivator. I really don't. I don't think Vince is motivated by making money that's going to benefit his family. I think he's already done that a long, long time ago. So I don't know. Perhaps now he just wants to. I don't know what he wants to do. I don't know. I mean, perhaps he can see that things are rocky ahead and he wants to cash out, but he still wants to remain, in a power, if you will. Granted, he might not be the owner anymore, but he can still have a major say. Say Disney buy it. If Disney buy it, Disney haven't got a flipping clue what to do with a wrestling company, right? They can put it onto Disney Plus. I know that might seem a bit strange, but on Disney Plus, it's not just princesses, right? You do have things like The Walking Dead on there, and obviously there's a lot of shooting and things in Star Wars. They've got another zombie show that's on there. Disney have really broadened their horizons with the kind of content that they allow onto Disney Plus, because they are competing in a very competitive marketplace of trying to get as much eyes on their streaming service as possible. So they need to have all age ranges and all interests, not all interests, but a lot of the major interests catered for. So, your guys between 18 and 34, they ain't going to watch Frozen, right? So what are you going to do to bring them onto the platform? So, Disney might seem like a strange fit, but it's not that strange, because there are things on Disney Plus, plenty of things that cater for that male 18 to 34 demographic, right? And you could make the argument that WWE might, cater to that as well. Certainly things like Roman, Sammy, Gunther, that all caters to that demo. And obviously WWE is unique in the sense of it can cater for kids. It can cater for, I think some of WWE's best audiences are over 50 years old. So, it really does cater for a wide age group. Um, and yeah, I sort of feel like it would fit naturally on there, but they don't know how to run a wrestling company. They haven't got a flipping clue. They haven't got a clue. So they would need a Triple H or, I'm guessing in Vince's mind, ideally, a Vince McMahon that could help run things and oversee things. So I think it's a really interesting thought that he could have his cake and eat it. He could secure the sale, and he could also then get in charge, still be put still in charge. So he could have both things. He could get the money and the power. So yeah, I think that's a really interesting thought. Anna said, I meant that Steph being a major driving force around talent, always wanting to push things forwards. No more toilet break stuff during the matches that make people at the top take notice. Yeah, I mean, the thing with Steph is, well, she was a driving force for the women's division in particular. She, I think, really got behind the whole give divas a chance, women's evolution, women's revolution. She seemed to be behind that, like the whole "we hear you," and then in 2015 when they called up some women like Charlotte, like Sasha, like Becky, and we had the three groups, the uh, Team Bellas, the PCB, and was it Team Bad? We had those three groups, and right in the heart of it, doing the intros of everyone was Steph. And she did seem to be a bit of a driving force there. And I think that, she has been very vocal about wanting it to be 50-50. She's made comments about wanting to get the product to 50% guys, 50% girls. Whether it was ever going to get there, I don't think it would. Well, who knows? Maybe one day. I mean, forever's a long time, but not in the foreseeable future. Not within the next 10 years. I can't see it getting to 50% TV time, for both men and women. Just because, I think it's moving in that direction, but we're still a long way off. But she was a driving force in trying to get it to that. More so than Vince. Vince has got no interest in that whatsoever. He's only interested in making money, isn't he? He's only interested in getting the ratings, making money, not necessarily taking a loss now to reap benefit in the future. He's about, trying to do things now to get the best TV deals now. So, yeah, I think your comments are right, all of them. The one about, how she was invested in women, I think you're absolutely bang on. There's evidence to support that, certainly more than what Vince was. And, yeah, as you said, no toilet break stuff. The only thing is, again, Triple H is still in charge of creative. I think that what you will see this year could be a really big year for big surprises, because this year I think we're going to be seeing them battling to get views to make the company attractive. They're going to want WWE to look really, really attractive. They're going to want WWE to look really good to buyers. How do you do that? Well, you put on an exciting product, and you create buzz, and you really create waves, right? How do you do that? You bring back The Rock, you bring back Cena, you bring back Undertaker, right? You do whatever you need to do to secure the result you need. And honestly, I think everything this year is on the table. Even an Undertaker return, I think it's on the table. I think CM Punk coming back, I think it is now on the table. I think that obviously it's going to come down to CM Punk if he wants to do it or not. But I think that CM Punk coming in and the buzz that would generate, I think that is on the table. I think Undertaker coming back for one more match, I think that is on the table. John Cena working as many dates as he can, I think that is on the table. I think anything now is on the table to create buzz. So I actually wouldn't be too worried about toilet break stuff, because you might get a bit of that if Vince does get involved with the product. You might get a little bit of that. But to be honest, I wouldn't be worried too much about that, because I actually think the reverse this year. I think you're going to get big moments. I think you're going to get big things happening, because they're going to want to secure the sale. They're going to want to secure the sale. They're going to want to generate buzz. They're going to want to look as attractive to the TV networks as possible. This is all about now getting as much interest in the product as possible. Who wants to buy it? Who wants to stream it, like, pay for them to go on their streaming platforms, pay for them to go onto their networks, or pay for them outright and actually actively buy them. Vince will sell to a Saudi company. Make no mistake about it. If the Saudis come in with 8 billion, right, that would probably do it. And he'll have no problems with selling to the Saudis. I don't know what her I don't know what the legal side of things would be. I don't know if they would allow it from an American point of view, like a company like this being sold to the Saudis. But I would imagine so. We've seen football clubs sold to the Saudis. We've just got this from Anna. Anna just sent this over. It's a message to the staff. So Stephanie to all staff. This was sent at 6:30. So apparently this was sent about an hour ago, I believe. Dear WWE employees, about 8 months ago, I took a leave of absence. Within a few weeks, unexpectedly had the opportunity of... Okay, this looks like it's the same. Has returned. WWE is a strong position. I've tried to take my leave of absence. I love this company, blah, blah, blah. Oh, this bit is the bit she's added, right? WWE is the success. WWE is the success that it is because of your hard work. You are the unsung heroes. No matter your position, your work contributes to our mission and makes a difference in people's lives. Thank you for your faith and trust. It has been an honor to work alongside you. I just get the feeling, I mean, look, maybe it's just me, but I get the feeling as I'm reading this, I can really sense a lump in her throat. I can really sense that she is writing this. I don't want to say and not wanting to, but I really get the sense that this is something she didn't plan to do or didn't want to do. I can't imagine the plan was when she took over, get through Christmas, and then, I'll come back and you resign in the new year. And I just don't feel like this has been planned. Again, I've got no evidence to support that. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but yeah, really, really, really interesting stuff. So obviously going to dominate the conversation today. It's going to dominate the conversation in the foreseeable future. Right, let's try and get back. Mitchell said, also, for what it's worth, Tony Khan posted a tweet. He's paying attention to the WWE sale, or looking closely. Don't remember the words. He won't sell to Tony. I'm not worried about that. He wouldn't do it. Vince is going to have options. It won't just be Tony that puts an offer in, right? Tony, I think, will put a tweet out like that to generate buzz. But do you remember how Vince, when he bought WCW, right? I mean, there was truth to this. I mean, we've heard from people in shoot interviews. This is how he felt, like he'd beaten his competition. It was a fierce battle. And he was standing there with WCW in his hands. He owned his competition now. And there is no way. Honestly, there's one thing I think that he values above money, and I think that's probably his pride, right? I would say that. He's definitely sold his pride out plenty of times. But there is no way he is going to want Tony Khan having that moment. Because Tony could come out and make a big announcement, I now own WWE. There is no way. There is no way. It's not like Vince has to sell to Tony, right? It's not a case that if Tony puts in a larger amount than anyone else, Vince has to sell. So, Vince would have to agree to that deal. He would have to say yes. And there's no way. There is no way. Even if he came in with more money, I think he would rather take a slightly lower amount from NBC or Disney and someone that's not going to do that to him, right? Rather than sell to Tony. So I don't see that happening. But that's very interesting, Mitchell. I hadn't seen that news. Bandido signed with AEW because he thought that he would have more TV time than in WWE. He's appeared once on TV and twice on Dark, says Dominic. Philip said, in your opinion, why do you think some superstars can get over in NXT, but sometimes they can't when they get to the main roster? Well, it's different, isn't it? It's different. I mean, NXT is you're in front of a few hundred people and you're given more opportunity. I mean, look, there's plenty of people in NXT that we watch that are not very good, to be honest. And that's not disrespectful. They're just learning. You know, I mean, like, take Ava Raine, for example. You know, we haven't seen her wrestle. Her promos don't seem that charismatic. She seems, I mean, she is the daughter of a rock, so they're always going to give her time. But she is learning. I mean, she's learning. It's no shade on Ava Raine. She is learning, but she is going to be given that time. She's going to be given, like, you know, opportunity. Like, if this doesn't work, let's try this instead. I think on the main roster, they haven't got time to keep reinventing you. And so it's a case of they give you some, and you really need to try and make it work. And, you know, it might be someone like Nikki ASH, which she really tried. I think it was her idea, actually. And she couldn't get it to work. She tried loads of stuff, but she couldn't get it over. She couldn't get it to work. They connected with a few people, but not the majority. But they didn't quickly take that offer. She had to carry that gimmick for a while because creative are focusing on other things. In NXT, that gimmick, I think, would have been changed a lot quicker, and they would have found something else, and they would have done something. You know, it just feels like you're in NXT, you're a lot more focused on. You know, they only have to worry about the people that are, you know, there, and they don't need to worry about traveling. They don't need to worry about all the logistics. Whereas, you know, in WWE, it's a much bigger machine. There's many more moving parts. You got more producers backstage. You got more talent. You got the two brands. I don't think the superstars are kind of treated with the same intensity that they are down in NXT. NXT, like, do you know what I mean? Everything builds towards the Wednesday show. Whereas, and they do some house shows, but their house shows are in front of like 200 people in Tampa. Right? It just is completely different ballpark. It's like trying to compare chalk and cheese. Like, you go to the main roster, you're doing house shows in front of thousands of people, and there's two brands, and there's loads of moving parts and loads of superstars, and so things, you know, the spotlight on you is less to the point where I genuinely think you can end up sitting in catering, and I genuinely think no one even really knows or notices for a little while. I think like T-Bar, Mustafa Ali, Dana Brooke, these names can go to catering and end up sitting there twiddling their thumbs, and no one notices. No one knows. No one sees these people. They can slip through the cracks, whereas you would think that wouldn't happen in NXT. If you're not on TV, then it's because you're being rebranded or something along those lines. So yeah, it's like comparing chalk and cheese. It's completely different. WWE says Vince was unanimously elected. I have a hard time believing that happened, said Jonah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, it might be because you can't really stop him, to be honest, and you might not want to. You might not want to make things hard for yourself afterwards. You know, if you're on that board and the person that owns 80-odd% voting power is coming back, and they're coming back, there's no way of stopping them. You know, you can either try and fight against it, but that's going to make your life a lot more uncomfortable when they're back, or you can just swim with the stream, to be honest. So, you know, there was a couple of people that left from the boards when Vince came back, because he brought back, what's her name, Michelle and George, is it? He brought back two directors with him, and two directors went. It could be that those two directors that went because they did put up a little bit of resistance, whereas everyone else was like, fine, We can't stop him. So I don't know. I mean, it's hard to know where the truth's going to lie with some of the statements that are going to be coming out. Just like this, Steph's resigned, but has she resigned? She says she's resigned, or has Vince gone in and said, right, I'm taking that. That's my job. I'm having that. That wouldn't be a resignation for Steph, would it? That would be Steph being told you're done. So, again, there's question marks around it all. Kieran, shout out to you, but appreciate the support. James said some good news. Ricochet and Samantha have just got engaged. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. It'll be that kiss. That will have done it. In your opinion, what do you think some superstars... Oh, we answered that one. If WWE is sold, does TV programming go to Raw, SmackDown, NXT need to be licensed by NBC to keep programming, because it would be a crisis for them to lose Raw? Well, if it gets sold, it depends who it's sold to. If it's NBC, obviously they would have it. If it goes to Disney, then I'm guessing Disney would want to move it to Disney Plus. They might allow it to run on NBC, but to be honest, that would be a decision for Disney, wouldn't it? I mean, they can't do anything until the contracts are up, but those contracts are coming up soon, so they could look at it and say, "Well, we want it on Disney Plus. We want it on Disney Plus. So let's take it back." And it might be more financially beneficial for them to put it on Disney Plus and increase their subscribers and potentially keep people that are already subscribed. It might be more financially beneficial for them to do that than to just take the payment from NBC and have it stay on the USA Network. So it's difficult, isn't it? I mean, it's hard to sit here and say, well, this will happen, that'll happen, because without being in the boardroom and seeing the actual options that are on the table, it's really hard to know like how it will play out. But yeah, I mean, it depends who's going to buy it is the answer. But Triple H is still in charge of content. He is. Let me just add this to this description. This follows on from Vince McMahon's return to the company. It's not known if Steph resigned for real or if she was forced out. Statement certainly implies that Stephanie well, I mean, look, that is mental. That really is mental. She I'm just trying to think. I mean, I don't think we'll ever hear from her, but it would be fascinating to get an interview and to find out what actually happened. Was it a case that this was a plan from the start? I don't think it was, but was it? Where she comes in, takes over the position. She was going to have a leave of absence anyway. The only thing is, right, if it was a plan from the start, because she was going to take a leave of absence. So if this was a plan from the start, wouldn't you say, okay, right, I'm going to go away for a bit till this settles down. I'm going to come back in the new year and I'll take the job off you and then you can go on your leave of absence, right? Why would that now turn into a resignation? Why would that, if that was the plan, why would that now be a resignation? Why would Steph now resign rather than just go back to taking her leave of absence? Why would it now be a resignation? Like, it does definitely feel like something has changed. I think it's the resignation part that makes it feel like there's something a bit more toxic to this. Because she could just, if she was to take her leave now, but be coming back, I think then you would be like, I'd be a bit more on board with this potentially might have been a plan. This might have been the plan from the start, is that she takes this position temporarily. We won't say it's temporarily, but she'll to have this position. Because if you say temporarily, you might spook the markets because markets don't like uncertainty. So you don't want to do that. So you say that it's permanent, but it's not really. And Vince will be back in the new year, right? But that doesn't explain now why she's resigned. Is it a case that she's resigned because she's been in this position and she's decided, do you know what? I don't want to come back. I want to be with my kids. Like having spent I would imagine it's been quite intense. I can't imagine doing the role that she's been doing since Vince left has been a walk in the park, right? I would imagine it's been very time consuming, very stressful, all of those things. And maybe she's had her fill. But wouldn't you still just take a leave of absence to assess? I mean, I suppose she could always come back. I mean, it is Vince in it. She could always come back. If she did go away and start missing it, I'm sure she could hit up her dad and he'll find something for her to do, even if she has to model T-shirts on the flipping website again. She could always come back. So, but that still doesn't explain why the leave of absence flipped over to a resignation. That's the bit I think I find. Well, no, her resigning is what I find most interesting. But her changing from leave of absence to resignation now, that's very interesting as well. Did you see Mandy Rose's TV interview? She sounded gutted. I feel bad for her. I don't know if she was given that option. I haven't seen the interview. I don't know if she was given the option of losing the thing. If she wasn't, then I feel bad for her. If she was, I don't care. If they said to her, take that down and you can stay type situation, then I've got no sympathy for her. But if she was not given that option and they said, right, you're done. You've gone too far, you're done, then I would feel for her. But I haven't seen the interview. I've only seen little excerpts where she said that, she I can't remember her exact word. It was something like she hated losing the title. She'd built up the division, built up blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. Built things up and it felt like it was very difficult to walk away. I saw that. The reason why Disney will buy WWE goes of the merchandise and subscriptions and content, says Kian. Her relationship with Vince is so bad right now that she just can't work with him, said the Beach Kevin. He feels that she was a driving force in pushing him out of the door. Well, he did say that he felt that he was given bad advice to go. And maybe that has soured their relationship. I mean, I don't know necessarily where that advice was coming from, but I would guess it would be from within the family. And apparently he did say that he felt like he was given bad advice to walk away. Yeah, you could absolutely be right. It could be that their relationship has completely soured and got to a point where it's just not really workable now. And she just doesn't want to work with him anymore. The other thing as well, and this is something else that we haven't actually spoken about, is think of, and we should have spoke about it actually, but think of the impact this has had on the family in the sense of what Vince is alleged to have done. Vince has paid hush money to women, right? And this money has been found to have gone out of the company. There is no doubt that the money has gone to these women. There's no doubt about that, right? There might be some doubt about the reasoning, but even then, I don't think there is. I think, to make allegations go away, I think is pretty much the accepted. I don't think that's disputed. I think that is money has gone to women to make allegations go away. It doesn't mean that he's guilty of it, but think about the strain that must have put on the McMahon family. Think of the humiliation that Linda probably felt. She shouldn't. It's not her fault, of course, but think of, I've got to think that it feels humiliating for your husband of so many years to be caught up in this. Think of the strain that it's put on the family, that it's put on Steph. I mean, even just that aspect of it. I would imagine has been a very, very trying situation. There's plenty of reports that Vince and Linda are not together and that they're living apart. And, there's been plenty of strain that's put onto them as a result of all of this. Apparently, they've been living apart for a little while, but I mean, this whole thing has just been a complete nightmare. Obviously, I've got no sympathy for him if he is guilty of the things he's alleged to have done. I'm not sitting here like I don't feel sorry for him, but I do feel sorry for the family. I do feel sorry for Triple H and Steph and Linda and, all the stuff that they've had to go through as a result of this. And, that's going to massively change your relationship with him. Add in the fact then that now he's making noises that he feels like he's been given bad advice about, like, leaving. Yeah. And maybe that because their relationship was always great. She's always been a daddy's girl. But God, this is the kind of stuff that changes a relationship, isn't it? This is the kind of stuff that definitely changes a relationship. So, that's stuff that's worth kind of taking into account as well. Vince is making things toxic again. Mandy interview was her saying he was hurt and she was hurt and disappointed. It was abrupt. There was a lack of communication. Said she was grateful and would be open to a return. PES wrote and directed the 2012 American animated short film Fresh Guacamole. It is the smallest Oscar-nominated film ever, clocks in at 1 minute 40 seconds, said Koji Ko. Okay. Koji Ko, shout out to you. I mean, now is quite a wild time to be dropping a fact like that, to be honest. But appreciate it. Right, we are going to go over to NXT. Obviously, this conversation is just going to keep rumbling along. Of course it will. There's way too much to try and explore and go through and other little nuances for us to discuss. But we do need to try and focus on NXT. It is New Year's Evil that's coming up now. Yeah, crazy. That's crazy. Big news. Feel sorry for the paralegal department, said William Hensey. Oh, here's Chase U. Thea Hale. Why don't we just put Thea Hale in charge? Problem solved. Homework is to watch New Year's Evil. So it's just a little intro. They're just kind of showing us what matches we're going to be getting tonight. But rather than just doing it in a video package form, they're doing it in a way where Andre Chase is telling his students to watch New Year's Evil and what it is that they can expect to see, basically. Respects. You've got these allegations and horrific information regarding Vince. He's now back as CEO. Does that not paint a bad image with buyers being hesitant or reluctant? Not really, because if you buy the company, you're buying. I mean, look, is WWE going to be tarnished by this? I mean, I don't think so. I think it has sort of blown over to a degree. And I think certainly within the wrestling community, the fans, if you look at the allegations that were labeled against WWE, we have not seen a massive drop-off. People have not abandoned the brand. It'll be interesting, though, now that Vince is back and now back in power. Now it'll be interesting to see if people abandon the brand, but my gut reaction is they won't. Like, it hasn't crossed my mind to stop watching. I don't know that it's crossed yours. I think people might stop watching if Vince is back in charge of creative and it becomes cringe. So, no, I don't, unless, if the ratings holds, I think it'll be fine. Thea Hale screaming. She knows that she can win the Battle Royal. Yeah, the. So no, I don't think that's a problem for buyers. I think that it would be a problem if the ratings took a hit, but I think Vince stepping down kind of took that heat away. Now Vince is back. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the ratings, what the perception of the company is. But that's not necessarily a buyer's problem. That's Vince's problem. Vince is going to have to do some work to show that it's not had an effect, basically. Tony said it's over. Vince is in total control. The ship is sinking. I fear for the talent. All back to the alumni section. That's it, Tony. Tony keeping a level head. Good to see. It's over, guys. Panic. It's over. It's over. Wrestling's dead. Let's all take a deep breath. Listen, the more things change, the more they stay the same. You need to remember with Raw ratings, almost identical to when Triple H and Vince ran things, we've said the show feels largely the same. Dan said, John Albert says, cross-talent across companies reached out, expressing dismay at the resignation news. General consensus is it's bad news. Vince is back. Yeah, but because Vince actually being back and being the guy in charge of everything, he can do what he wants. It turns out he could always do what he wants. I mean, I said in the video, and I stand by it, I have been surprised at how easy this has been for Vince to do what he wants to do. I've been very surprised. For him to come back, no resistance. And now, seemingly be responsible for Stephanie walking away. Like, it's connected. Of course, she hasn't just decided, She even said in the statement now that Vince is back and everything's looking strong, she doesn't feel like, she's really needed at this time. So, I mean, like, she's even saying it's connected. She's just trying to put a nice positive spin on it when the truth might be it's not that positive. It might be, oh my God, my boomer dad's back, who I can't stand at the moment, taking the company in a direction I don't want to go. I'm out of here. Like, it could be that. Big boot by Dijak. Marvelin said, I still don't care about Dijak's character. Why do you think Vince wants to sell WWE? Well, to be honest, TV ratings are in decline. I think the future is very uncertain. I think that right now you've got the war in Ukraine, which is pushing up fuel prices, which is making it harder for people to have money in their pocket. You've got a cost of living crisis as well. I mean, the thing is, if fuel goes up, everything goes up because everything is transported using fuel. So food getting to the supermarkets gets there because of lorries and planes, and they need fuel. And so a fuel crisis isn't just meaning people that drive cars is going to have to pay more. It means anything that gets transported is going to cost more. And so that means that cost is going to be felt on foods and clothes, and that is going to hit the average person. If it hits the average person and there's less money around, that means less money to buy merch, less money to buy tickets. It means, like, things get hard. So Vince is looking at the landscape right now, and he is looking at TV ratings that are declining. He's looking at people having less money in their pockets right now. And he's probably looking at a share price, which is in a, quite strong position at the moment. And honestly, you would say the only direction for it is probably down going forwards. Obviously, there could be opportunities like more Saudi Arabia deals, new markets like India or China that might open up. But you would certainly look at, say, the US, the UK, your established markets as being a bit of a struggle for the foreseeable future. So, I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? I would say that a sale is not guaranteed, but it's an option that probably feels quite attractive right now. And also, I mean, don't forget, he's just come through these allegations as well, and he's just had the whole, like, all of that drama. So it's sort of like now is the time for him to maybe cash out. Now's the time for him to get the money because all of his wealth is tied up with WWE. If WWE's valuation goes down, Vince's valuation goes down. It's not like WWE can crash and Vince is still a billionaire. Vince is only a billionaire because of WWE and where it is right now. So if he wants to remain a billionaire, now would be a decent time to sell. And the other thing is the TV deals are coming up. So now's a great time to sell because whoever buys will have the freedom to move it wherever they want to move it. If Disney buy it, they haven't got to wait too long to put it onto Disney Plus because all the deals are up in the start of 2024. So, if Disney buy it this summer, a few months down the road, once the TV deals are done in the new year, 2024, they can put it on Disney Plus, which is a very attractive prospect for someone that wants to buy the company. Vince is smart, said Storm. Vince is smart basically held the company hostage over media rights to get back on the boards. Then it goes for sale. No Steph, leaves Vince, voted chairman of the board again, now in total power, said Storm. JB Production said, I'm only here for drama. I'm not even watching weekly shows. I just enjoy the premium live events, which they still seem to do well, said JB. Marvelin said, who in NXT do you think is ready for the main roster? I'm actually not, and this is going to surprise people, I'm actually not that sold on Bron, sorry. I'm not that sold on Bron Breakker. I mean, like, I feel like his promos are pretty flat. I don't really ever feel that he ever comes out with like witty killer lines. He feels a bit one-dimensional to me. He's a bit of like a meathead. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I mean, like, I don't know, what other term could you use? Gym rat? I don't know. Like some dude that goes to the gym, builds himself up, and is very much like, I'm going to smash you. I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to pulverize you. I'm going to beat you up, right? There's not really anything witty in there. There's nothing that makes you go, oh, that's good. There's nothing MJF-esque. You know what I mean? It's just big guy, I'm going to beat you up. Dude, basically. His matches are fine, but, I can't sit here and reel off a load of 5-star matches for Bron. What Bron does have is he's got a great look. He's got the family lineage. He's got, obviously, everyone knows he's a Steiner. And as a result, that's kind of carrying him a little bit in my mind. He's got great potential because, the more he does promos, the more that gets put in different situations. You'd have to think the more experience he gets, the better he'll get. He ain't going to get worse. Like, he's going to get better. So you look at it and go, okay, well, I think he'll improve. And in ring, the more matches he has, the more he'll improve. So it's not like we can never get somewhere with him. I'm not saying he's a completely hopeless project at all, because luck is a big part of things. But what I am saying is that, when he talks, do I find myself going, oh, this guy is a WrestleMania main eventer? Or when I watch his matches, do I think like, oh my God, imagine this guy with Seth? Like, I just don't really feel that. Like, when you watched Gunther, you knew you was watching someone very special in ring, and you knew that he was going to go on to have a massive, massive career. When you listen to Grayson Waller on a microphone, you know you're listening to someone very charismatic. When you listen to LA Knight on a microphone, you know you're listening to someone very charismatic. I never, ever feel that way about Bron. All I would say is, listen, you need different people in WWE. Not everyone can be the same. So having someone like Bron, it makes sense. I suppose in a way, he's Bobby Lashley. He's Bobby Lashley that doesn't have quite as good a physique. Bobby Lashley's matches don't make me want to write home. Bobby Lashley's matches aren't anything that get my pulse racing. Bobby Lashley's promos are not something that get my pulse racing, but he's still managed to create a good career for himself. But is he the face of the company? No, he's not. Is he is he someone that's just like always there that you can turn to if you need? Yeah, sure. You can always put the title on him. He'll give you a good little run. It'll be a good feud for someone. I see Bron as that. I think Bron's the next Bobby Lashley, which is no bad thing, is it? Do you know what I mean? That's no bad thing. But I just don't see him being this. I don't see him being, I think, what other people see. Some people see him, I think, as being like the next face of the next Roman. I don't see him being. I don't think he's anywhere near as charismatic as Roman. I mean, it's worth saying though. I mean, like if you was to compare Roman now to Roman in NXT, I think you'd get a good idea as to how much improvement these superstars can still make. Bron can go on to make massive improvements still, because Roman in NXT was nowhere near what he is now. But yeah, I look at him still as being quite limited. Bron. So, is he ready for the main roster right now? I'm going to say no, to be honest. I'm going to say that I think he does go up this year, but I think you could do something with him, but I don't think he's going to be this. I mean, look at Carrion. Look at how Carrion's doing on the main roster. He's got fantastic entrance, fantastic look. He can cut promos, and he's got a beautiful woman by his side. And, he's not tearing it up at the moment. He's involved in the odd feud. I mean, he's about to go into a feud with Rey Mysterio, but yeah, I just don't really buy Bron stock. I like Carmelo. I think he could go up. I like Grayson Waller. I think he could go up. Women wise, you could maybe put up Alba Fire. I think Alba Fire could go up. Stax has got into the ring. Stax wants to fight. Oh, big boot by Dijak. Stax said, "Let me do it for you, boss." Tony moves Stax out of the way, and as he did that, he got kicked in the face. So, in a way, Stax has just cost Tony. He didn't mean to, but in a way, he has just cost Tony. So, Stax was... bang. So, Dijak wins. So, Dijak beats Tony. Wesley then standing, holding up the North American Championship. It's been like 4. I get it short, but so far it's been boring. Big Time said the value of WWE right now is around $7 billion after the stock price shot up, after sale rumors went up from $6 billion. Value WWE now will not duplicate in 5 years, says Big Time Baxter. Okay, we've got Toxic Attraction backstage. What happens if the Battle Royal comes down to just you two? Then it'll be your winners, Toxic Attraction. Right, Creed Brothers are making their way out now. Creed Brothers coming out. I don't actually know who they're taking on. Is it Indashia? Is that this week? Indashia. Okay. I would love to see Wyatt 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10, said Matthew. It's been an update on Stefan Fightful. Okay, thank you. Let's have a little look. Hold up. There's not one on there. There's one from an hour ago. So this is from an hour ago. Shocking piece of news that probably shouldn't be shocking. Steph has resigned as CEO and chairwoman. Vince has returned and taken the executive chairman spot. WWE confirmed that Nick Khan would be sole CEO. And it was reiterated via WWE. Triple H is still chief content officer. Oh. 2-1-1. There's no Via. Oh, is that Jinder? Jinder arrives. Oh, that's good. No Via, but Jinder's here. That's pretty cool. Him with these two would be awesome. Big Jinder chance. He got to the final of the first ever NXT Championship tournament. It was him against Seth Rollins. Seth won, and Seth became the first champ, but Jinder got to the final. So Jinder does have a history with NXT. But he ain't been here for a hot minute. Jinder in NXT. Is this a permanent switch? Love it. Love it. Via and Sanga fight for respect, but I don't. Jinder. Via and Sanga fight for respect, but I don't. Love it. Backstage with Pretty Deadly and the New Day. Right, commercial break. Right, it was portrayed to Fightful. Steph was resuming her leave of absence she took last year before returning to work months later. Steph has remained well-liked amongst staff and talent that we've spoken to, as has Nick Khan, who will now assume more of her duties. Steph led an employee meeting on January 6th where she admitted there's naturally some animosity before correcting the term to angst regarding some feelings about Vince forcing his way back in. I hadn't heard this. When was this? This was on the employee meeting. There's naturally some animosity. So she didn't want him back. So that wasn't a plan then. That's very interesting. Before correcting the term to angst regarding feelings about Vince forcing his way back, much of Steph's own team was dismantled in major cuts during the pandemic. Several WWE talent message Fightful very confused by the situation, asking what it really meant for both Steph and Nick Khan. And that's from talent within WWE wanting to know what it really means. The general consensus that we gauged was uncertainty of what a move like this actually means. One talent heavily stressed that they believe Vince taking over creative duties would lead to public frustration from the roster. Another source said they're hopeful this means a sale is coming. Well, I tell you what's interesting about that. I never heard that Steph said on January 6th that there was animosity and angst about Vince returning. I never ever heard that. That's the first time I've ever heard that. That is very interesting. Don't forget tonight, Bia and Sanga versus Creeds. I don't know if we're still getting the match. We just had it happen. Gunther Strowman Friday for the IC. Now that'll be good, said Guan. Shanky should go down in NXT and then they could have a faction, said Serious Gaming. That'd be good, actually. Shanky, Jinder, Bia, and Sanga. God, they'd be monsters. They'd be monsters. Shanky's not very good in the ring, but Sanga looks like a beast. Like, if you think about how they portrayed Bia, about being this monster, this big guy came down, decimated Dominic Mysterio. Sanga's bigger, much bigger than Via. That's when you're thinking of Sanga and you say Via, you come out with Vera. Yeah, he's huge. He's an absolute beast. I like Jinder being with those two. I think it's really interesting. Really interesting. I hope he sticks around. We didn't really get much from what he said. He just said Via and Sanga fight for respect, but I don't. Don't know if that means he's staying. Could Vince fire Hunter? Yeah. That's what I want to know. He can. He can do that. If Vince wants to change someone's storyline and Triple H says no, if Vince wants to change someone's storyline, then he can. What I would say is, if it's going to create buzz and ratings and present WWE in the way that Vince wants, I think he'll let it go. Right? He'll be fine with it. So, you know, I think the Bray story is going to be interesting. I don't think he's going to interfere in the Bray story. Here's Sanga and Jinder. Is this who you really are? Here's Elektra Lopez. Maybe it's a time for you to be all about you. Elektra Lopez walks away. Right, Pretty Deadly coming down then. Pretty Deadly coming down. Yeah, so can Vince fire Triple H? Absolutely. Can he interfere with storylines? Absolutely. Do I think he will? I don't think he will. I don't think he will because he is focused on finding buyers. He is focused on negotiating new TV deals. He is focused on that, not on the actual product. The only way that I think he gets involved is if he looks at the ratings and he wants bumps and he wants bigger and he wants better numbers to go into sales with. I then could start forcing, you know, situations like, as I said, I right now I wouldn't rule out Undertaker coming back. I really wouldn't. There's no time to talk. It's time to fight. This might be a silly question. Will the potential buyer have control on everything? If yes, wouldn't that be a worry? Potential buyer, the owner, would have control over everything. Is that a worry? It depends who buys it. Depends who buys it. The Rockers. Right here in this music. Right, we've got a couple of jobbers coming down. Calling themselves the Rockers. So, Pretty Deadly versus the Rockers. I'll tell you what, it was lovely hearing that music again, though. Shame these guys didn't dress like the flipping Rockers. Why didn't, if you're going to call yourself the Rockers and come out, why wouldn't you at least dress like them? Oh, they've beaten the Rockers. Pretty Deadly have beaten the Rockers then. Now it's the New Day. But it's not the real New Day, is it? Oh, no, it is the real New Day. New Day. Okay. If you want a match for these titles, you need to beat an actual top tag team. Okay, so Inoue and Blade are up first, so it's going to be Inoue and Blades. Honestly thought that was going to be a bigger announcement. They did the whole who thing, really built it up, and now they've just brought out Inoue and Blades. Okay. Saudis will buy it and Vince will run it, says Matt Crow. They could have spoofed the Hardys, actually. That would have been pretty good. Right, Inoue and Blades have come out and they're cleaning house. Is this tag team triple threat? It's a gauntlet match, I believe. So they've got to get through like a few teams. In all fairness, they have already beaten the Rockers. But Pretty Deadly are down. In your opinion, with the reasons you stated why Vince wanted to sell, do you think a buyer will feel they have a solution to the problem? Do I think a buyer will have a solution to the problem? I think there are solutions to the problem. I think WWE is a successful business and brand, right? I think that the problems are declining TV ratings as people now, watch streaming services and do lots of different things. Which, you've got to accept that landscape. So the problem is, back in the day, there was only X amount of channels to watch, right? Or you could go to the cinema, or you could go ice skating or something like this, yeah? Now you can play a multitude of different video games, right? Borderline unlimited amount of different video games on different video consoles, on your phone, on your computers, on PCs, on Switches, on PS5s, whatever, yeah? Fortnite, all of that stuff. You've then got streaming services. You've then got the internet, like just websites in general, not even watching videos, but just browsing like different websites and everything. And then you've got like YouTube, of course, which is going to, take people's eyes away. You've got, all of this compared to 30 years ago. It's just it's a different world. I mean, this is now a different world with like the amount of options of things that you can now do in the comfort of your own home compared to 30 years ago. It's a different world. The internet has changed everything. So, of course, TV ratings going down because people aren't sat in front of TVs anymore, just being forced to watch the stuff that's on TV. Now you can do all this other stuff. So, I think, like, if you take WWE, you've got to find a way now and going forwards of how you generate money. It's funny because one of the ways that you might generate money might be to use the TV to promote your house shows and try and sell tickets. You know, if you think about musicians now don't make that much when it comes to selling albums because, you know, CD sales are through the floor. It's all about streaming now. So, you know, the music industry has had to go through this change. This change has been massive for music. I mean, the charts have changed, how they work out the charts. The singles market, physical singles market has gone. We've come to a point, you know, where as we've got more technologically advanced, we've actually now started to regress. And what I mean by that is in the music industry, we've got rid of singles. You can still get them, but they're streamed now. But like physical singles, not a thing, right? Album sales, they're around, of course. CD sales, not a massive thing. It's all about downloads and streaming. Streaming in particular, yes, Spotify, YouTube Music, all that kind of stuff. But what this has actually meant is that students in particular and adults that really they treasure an album, they really want that listening experience, like the best, coolest listening experience. It means that vinyl sales have exploded, which is mental. We are so technologically advanced now, we've reverted back to where we were in the 1970s, like with vinyl sales going through the roof. Like if you go into one of our music stores here in the UK, you will see a very strong vinyl presence now because students and adults that want that, you know, unique. Maybe there's an album that you love, like Beatles album, Stones album, maybe an Adele album, who knows? You love it, right? And just streaming it just doesn't give you don't feel close enough to it. You want to get that little bit closer to it. You want to feel a bit more connected to it than just, you know, your average person. Well, how you can do that is by buying the vinyl and having the sleeve and the booklet and the artwork and having it on display and actually putting it on the player and moving the needle, getting that crackle, all of that kind of stuff. It gives you, you get closer to the listening experience. One of the things that maybe we will see from wrestling going forwards is that where TV has been used to create a lot of money because of TV deals, those TV deals will likely start to decline as, you know, views become more competitive and more limited. Like, I don't think views for Raw are going to go up anytime soon. They're going to keep going down. They might level out somewhere eventually. But to be honest, probably not. I think, you know, traditional TV is in trouble. I mean, traditional TV could really, what we could find is that we lose a load of channels eventually, as, you know, you just can't sustain them all. And maybe we get back to like a core amount of channels. And then you might find that those channels get all the views and then we go back up again. So, you know, it could be circular, but that's going to be a long process until if we ever get there and we start losing channels and start focusing attention again. What we might have to do is use the TV to try and promote the house shows and see if we can generate money from ticket sales, because that's what happens with music. They get money from their concerts and their gigs, and people actually go into the show. So maybe wrestling can take a leaf out of that book, and it can be a case now that, you know, your big matches, they are, if you want to see it, you need to get down to this big arena to watch it, and maybe the footage of it will go up on Disney Plus or something the following day. So if you want to see it live, and you're in the area, you need to go to it. If not, it'll be on Disney Plus the next day. That would be a way of selling tickets at a premium price and also catering for the global audience. You know, look, if you're in India, you're not going to get to Madison Square Garden, are you? If you're in the UK, you're not going to be able to watch this big match in Madison Square Garden. What you might be able to do, though, is you might be able to sell tickets for Madison Square Garden, and you might be able to get a pay-per-view price back again. I wonder if this means the return of pay-per-view. It might mean the return of pay-per-view. Perhaps if you want to watch it live, perhaps if you do John Cena versus Roman Reigns, for example, or Rock versus Roman, you put it at Madison Square Garden, you sell tickets, and then you charge premium pay-per-view prices for it rather than the network just being a flat $9.99, because they now need to generate money again. And that's a way of generating money, isn't it? So I think, you know, all of this stuff comes onto the table now. All this stuff that you might not think about, like about the WWE network could go. You could lose the WWE network. It depends how much money it generates. I don't know what income they get from the network, but the network could go. Flat $9.99 a month could go. You know, these could be some ways of, you know, generating money, generating cash, generating income. Right, they've defeated Inoue and Blades. Briggs and Jensen were meant to be next. Briggs and Jensen meant to be next, but they've been attacked backstage, I believe. So they were backstage, down and attacked, and we found out who attacked them, and it was Gallus. So Gallus have come out. So Pretty Deadly thought they'd got away with one there. They thought that was one less team, but now Gallus have come walking out. So Joe Coffey is that, and Wolfgang. This is going to be quite the uphill struggle. Countdown to the new year coming up next. In America, Peacock NBC own the WWE Network, part of our normal cable package now. Yeah, but as we said, with a sale, that can completely change. Team Jeff Bezos versus Team Elon Musk at Survivor Series. Irish Rebel said, Linda followed me on Twitter. I'll send you a picture, said Irish Rebel. Gallus have got the victory. Gallus win. So Gallus have managed to pick up the victory. I think they've won the tag team gauntlet. So what was it? Pretty Deadly, Rockers, Idris, Inoue, and Blades, and Gallus. Those were the teams. Yeah, so Gallus victorious. So does that mean we get Gallus against New Day now? Yeah, looks. Yeah, they're staring at each other. Looks like that's exactly what we're gonna get. Gallus and New Day. New Day. I don't know if I got to Jake's super chat or not. I can see Jake fired one through. Jake, if you're around, let me know what it said. Oh, hang on, I might see it. There it is. Would not surprise me one bit if Vince was the Fiend. I would be surprised. Got a sale to try and sort. I don't think you can go run around being the Fiend. Ivy Nile arguing there. Feels like Ivy Nile's on the verge of leaving, doesn't it? There is no moving on, said Julius. So Julius has gone off to get ready for Jinder. Days with cord cutting in America, cable currently has 70 million homes. TNT, TBS, and USA are down 20% in 2022 from 2021. Ratings are dwindling. Look at AEW. Their window of their window of over 1 million is closing. Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, look, ratings are in decline, and it's not just WWE; it's across the board, as you say. 20-odd% between 2021 2022. Very interesting. I think that means that just to kind of put a cherry on top of what we just spoke about, a buyer for WWE is going to have to find new ways of generating money because you're not going to be able to rely on the TV money anymore. These TV companies can try and charge more for advertising space, right? That's only going to work for so long. Advertisers are only going to be able to pay so much for TV advertising. Certainly if if you're having to pay, say, 100,000 for a 10-second clip, right? Advertising clip. And it goes to 1 million people. And then they want 100,000 for a 10-second clip, but now it only goes to 300,000 people. But it's only so long companies are going to want to do that because there's going to be other options out there for them to go to. They can go to cinemas and advertise. They can go to Google and advertise. They can go to out on the street and advertise, do billboards and things along those lines. There's so many different ways to advertise. Paying for TV advertising is just one thing. And if it's only going to reach 300,000 rather than the 500,000 that it was reaching before, all of a sudden it becomes less and less attractive for what I would imagine is going to cost more and more money. They can only maintain that for so long. And that is how they pay for WWE. That is where their money comes from. That is how they generate money to pay for these companies. So TV money is not this unlimited pot of money. It's going to decline. And I think Vince is fully aware of that. Whether that affects this next one that's coming up in 2024, I mean, look, are they going to get the same deal that they got last time? I don't know. I mean, I think it's unlikely. I think the decline will probably already get felt. I don't think they're going to get more by any means. I think it is a competitive marketplace, and I think that content is important. And if you lock WWE down, you are guaranteeing you're guaranteeing a fan base, and you're guaranteeing a certain amount of views for the next, however long you've got them for. But there is going to come a point where that TV money is just not going to be close to where it is now. As we said, you're going to have to lose channels. You're going to have to lose options for and you're going to have to try and focus the audience back onto certain channels. Then there could be more money around because those channels will start getting more views and they'll be more appealing and people will want to advertise. But it'll be more competitive because you'll have all this programming now, all this content will only have limited places to actually go to. So, the future looks very messy. Bottom line is, you're going to need to, if you've got your own streaming service, brilliant. That helps, doesn't it? Because you can just shove them there. Brilliant. Don't even have to think about it. It's content for your streaming service. Lovely. But you're going to have to find a way of generating money because only so much money will come from the new subscribers that come to your platform. As we said, tickets, sales might go up. Pay-per-view, I think almost certainly comes back. But it's hard, isn't it? Because you can't charge too much because you don't want to drive people away. It's a balancing act. If pay-per-view comes back, it's going to have to come back at a reasonable price because you're having to try and get money from the limited fan base that's there. And you need to try and find ways of growing that fan base. It's hard. It's hard. Honestly, when you sit down and go through it, you can totally understand why Vince would want to try and sell up now. We've got Carmelo and Trick at a diner. Can I just say this diner looks the exact same diner? Do you remember when Apollo and Bron sat down a few months ago before their match? It looks exactly the same. I think it is the same diner. Must be a diner down the road or something. He can write in his diary. He can look out the window. That title doesn't have Apollo written on it. It's got Carmelo written on it. There we go. If you're an NXT fan, go into that restaurant, I think would be kind of cool. Tiffany Stratton is back.
I never needed you at all.
Carmelo
I never needed you.
So Tiffany Stratton's returns. Haven't seen her for a while. I think the last time we saw her, she was in a match with Wendy Chu. The new Mandy Rose is here. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Mandy, 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 Mandy. How badly did you guys miss? I think actually she would be a better leader of Toxic Attraction. Every woman in that locker room is sweating like a disgusting pig because Tiffany Stratton is back. She's a revelation. Told you it was Tiffany. No one believed me, said James. I've watched every woman fail miserably at trying to replace me. They can't replace my skill or my style. Right, love. She's banging on, isn't she? The center of the universe is back. Is that it? Okay. Did no one attack her or interrupt her? Right, JB said, I'm on my own against the wall. I'm on my own against the wall. I never needed you at all. JB, shout out to you. Would Xfinity put SmackDown on NBC and make it a 3-hour show for revenue? Yeah. Anything's... It's all on the table. Could SmackDown be a 3-hour show? Yes. Could SmackDown move to Disney? Yes. Could Raw move to Fox? Yes. Could they get rid of Raw and SmackDown and bring in a whole new show? Yes. Could they fire some of your favorite superstars? Yes. Like, if they sell the company, anything can happen. Like, anything can happen. It's all game. Because the new owners will do whatever they think they need to do. This is what we were saying earlier. Wave goodbye, I think, to $9.99 a month. Wave goodbye to that. That is, I mean, we know it's a steal. We know that's a bargain. We know that we're running off like bandits. $9.99 a month. We get access to all of that content, and we don't pay for WrestleMania. We don't pay for SummerSlam and all that kind of stuff. Like, if you was buying the company, why are you not making the fans pay for WrestleMania? Why the fans will not want to miss WrestleMania. So what? Like, even if it's just an extra $9.99 for WrestleMania, why would you not do that? I mean, that can generate how much money around the world if every wrestling fan had to pay just an extra $9.99 for WrestleMania. I mean, I would say at the bare minimum, that's something that I think would be a bit of a no-brainer. In fact, you could go further. You could make them pay $9.99 for the Rumble, $9.99 for WrestleMania, $9.99 for SummerSlam. Don't know if you'd get away with $9.99 for Survivor Series, but you could at very least charge for those 3 shows. Could you use the shows to build up some house shows? Could you do some extra shows? Maybe put something else in. If you can try and charge $9.99 for WrestleMania, why don't we do two WrestleManias? Two WrestleManias a year, and number them. So 39 and 40 will both be in 1 year. 40, 41, 41 and 42 will be another year, and charge for those. I mean, honestly, you might go, no, they won't do that, and they probably won't. But anything is on the table. That's the point. Anything is on the table. Don't count out Vince selling WWE to himself and taking it private again, said Dark Angel. Yeah. That's a weird one because his finances are in the stock. So he'd have to borrow against the company to generate the money to buy the company. He'd be having to, his wealth is the company's wealth. So, I mean, you can't do it. I think it'd be very similar to what happened at United, where they used the company to pay for the company, which I still can't believe they did, to be honest. I can't believe Man United weren't in any debt. Man United were just a normal company. Everything was fine. The buyers came in and they borrowed a load of money from the bank using the company as, I think, leverage to then buy the company. Like, they didn't just come in with the money and buy the company. And so that put United in debt. And it's really complicated, but it's really messy as to how they went about it. And that has massively upset people. I feel like it'd have to be something like that because Vince doesn't have 7-8 billion or whatever. Obviously, he could accept. Well, I mean, I wonder, he would have to buy out everyone's shares, wouldn't he? So he would have to generate a certain. It's not like he could pay himself $1 and accept it because it's not just him. Like, it's all, he would have to, I don't know how much it would cost him. It probably wouldn't cost him the 7 billion, of course. But he would have to buy out all the shareholders. And I don't know how much that would cost. I don't know what it would cost him to buy the company. I have no idea. But is that an option? Yeah, I'm sure it's an option that he could look to explore. If Vince sells, he will run it to the ground first, but Vince is too greedy to sell. No, I don't think he'll run it to the ground because, I mean, if he's going to sell it, he needs to make it look attractive. So you can't run it into the ground. Like, in fact, this year would need to be the opposite of that. This year would need to be a year where you go big and get great ratings and get loads of money coming in the door so that anyone that was looking at buying it was seeing it at its most attractive. It's like when you sell a car. If you sell a car, you don't kick it even more, dent it even more. You polish it up, don't you? You vacuum it, you clean it, you make it look amazing so that you can get the sale. Exactly the same with WWE. Everything's going to be given a lovely polish. Everything's going to look lovely and shiny. They're going to try and do whatever they can with the TV product, try and make it as appealing as possible so that then they can get the sale. So he won't run it into the ground. He will make it look amazing. This year, for wrestling fans, this year could be absolutely fantastic. This genuinely could be one of the most fun years that we have ever seen in WWE. As they look for that sale and they try to secure better TV rights. But we don't know where it's going to lead. It's kind of like, oh my God, everything's going to be amazing this year, but we don't know what next year's going to look like. We don't know what the future's going to look like. Grayson Waller, then we're just seeing Grayson Waller. We're almost at the halfway point. Jeff Bezos will buy WWE and move it to Amazon. Yeah, I mean, it is true, actually, because when you're talking about WWE and trying to make it work and trying to make it generate money, you're talking as if, like, it's a massive investment. And it is. But when you start throwing around names like Jeff Bezos, all of a sudden it doesn't seem as big an investment, does it? Like Jeff Bezos, I don't know how many billions he's got, but I think it's, I don't know. Rather than guessing, why don't we just have a little quick Google? Grayson Waller making his way out. Jeff Bezos wealth. 110 billion. 110 billion. So even if it costs him 7 billion, you know, he's still got 100 and some billion left in the bank. So, yeah, look, you're not going to want to spend 7% of your wealth on something that's just going to lose money. You're going to want to spend it on something that's going to bring value. If anything's going to, you know, make other aspects more valuable, you know, you're going to want a return. So even if Jeff Bezos buys it, he's not going to just write off 7 billion and happily just let it do whatever it does. Like they will still try and find a way of making it work. And right now it does work. A large part of that is the TV deal, though. A large part of that is the TV deal. But this is why Vince is going to need to show good offers on the table. Because if someone's going to buy it, surely the first question is going to be what's the TV deals looking like for 2024? What's on the table? Because they'll want to know what the options look like. They'll probably have plans to put it on Amazon themselves, but they'll want to have an idea as to what's being offered. They'll want to know what what the current situation is of the company. You want to know what you're buying, because you can't just go off the last TV deal because that was years ago. What's the current TV deals looking like? Where are we with that? But yeah, you're right. He could take it, put it on Amazon Prime. Be a good boost to Amazon Prime. Having, that is regular, twice, 3 times weekly content, and all the back catalog. I mean, you'd be buying the back catalog. That would come off the network and it would go on Amazon Prime. Now, all of that content going onto Amazon Prime, that'd be a big addition. But 7 billion is still sizable, even for Jeff Bezos. Right, we are moving on. So Tiffany Stratton has come back. Now we've got Grayson Waller versus Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker. Brian Alvarez says, monster news imminent. Brian Alvarez saying monster news imminent. Monster news imminent from Brian Alvarez. This is continuing to develop. So Brian Alvarez, monster news imminent. Monster news imminent. The way he says monster, it's not like he's put it in caps like he is saying it's something to do with Braun. Okay, well, we'll keep an eye on that. I just tweeted out, I really hope this means Billie Kay is coming back. I mean, I really do. I really like her. Right, Bron with a suplex. Old soupy suplex. You know, it's so funny. I recorded the Wrestling Escape pod earlier, and in it, we did a separate video because I was like, oh, we should talk about the big news today. Have you heard about Jay White? Jay White? Have you heard that Jay White might be coming to America? I mean, how insignificant does that feel now? Who's Jay White? That's my answer. That's my response to that. Big chance by this crowd then as Bron Breakker has got Grayson up. Grayson managing to get a tornado DDT. The PSG owner, Al Khelafi, and his company, Qatar Sports, are looking to buy a Premier League club. They're interested in Spurs. I would have thought they would have gone for Liverpool or United. That's serious investment in it. I mean, haven't they? Oh, that's Qatar, isn't it? I was going to say, haven't they bought Newcastle? But that's Saudis. Jeez. They want WWE. Basketball Pro said Bron Breakker is going to beat Grayson Waller. Let's go. Baccarai said, if the Battle Royal is the main event, could we see a surprise return? My guess is Indy Hartwell wins. Indy Hartwell winning's a nice shout. Who's the champion? It's Roxanne Perez. Probably needs to be a heel. Guessing I'll go Cora Jade winning. Could there be some surprises in it? Yes. It's very surprise, isn't it? Very surprising this isn't. Why is this not the main event? Why is the NXT Championship not main event in this show? Just put it on in the middle of the show. Just put it on in the middle. I'm surprised we didn't do Roman Reigns against Bron Breakker as like the third match at WrestleMania, to be honest. Just put it on in the middle of the show. Wow, if this championship match between Bron Breakker and Grayson Waller that has had weeks of builds is in the middle of the show, what must the main event be? What must the main event be? Oh, it's number one contenders women's battle royal. Oh, okay. I mean, battle royals are fun, don't get me wrong, but ooh, middle turnbuckle is broken. That must have been on purpose. Middle turnbuckle breaks. Bron Breakker is down. Bron turnbuckle breaker. We've got officials coming down. It happens just before the break. Just before we get to... Do you know what's funny? Actually, I'm just looking now. He got hurled into the corner and it didn't break. And then he had to shove him into the corner a second time and then it broke. So for me, I think any thoughts that this is an accident and not intentional is out the window. Because he hurled him into the corner. It didn't break. He ended up having to shove him back in a second time to get it to break. So, ring, turn, buckle. What's this monster news? What do you think this massive news is? Don't know. Don't know. Brian Alvarez. I think monster news is incoming. Triple H is trending, of course. Bray is trending. What made you think about Billy? Someone's asked what made you think about Billy. I always think
I never needed you at all. I never needed you
at all. Watch me shine now. Cal, shout out to you. The news is coming tonight, says Cal. The news is coming tonight. Cal's in the know. Cal is in the know. Appreciate it, buds. Wonder what that's going to be. If... do you think it's Triple H? If Stephanie has been fired That's going to put Triple H in a tricky position, isn't it? It's a bit like Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso was when Naomi walked out, everyone looked at Jimmy Uso, and I think Jimmy Uso's response was like, because he was involved in a great story with the bloodline, and I think he was just trying to pretend that nothing was happening. Jimmy, your wife's just walked out. She's absolutely livid. She's done with WWE. What? Got to... Jay! That was Jimmy Uso's response. And I'd imagine that's Triple H's response as well. Hunter! Steph's been fired. She's walked out. She's not having a leave of absence. She's resigned. She's never coming back. Bruce. I'm not here. This isn't happening kind of a situation. Amazing. He's finally got his dream job of booking. How long has he waited to book Raw and SmackDown? And now his flipping wife gone walk it swanning off. I mean, it's probably not her fault. It's probably Vince's fault, but... I personally don't think it's Triple H because Steph talked about Triple H being in charge of creative. My guess is either someone got released or they've got a new buyer. Wouldn't think they've got a new buyer. That would be quick, unless this is what Vince has been working on. Steven said, all right, so I'm just looking at what people are saying on Twitter, and Steven's responded. I put that tweet up saying about, I hope this means Billy Kay's coming back. And Steven said, what made you think of Billy Kay? I responded, I always think of Billy Kay. Steven said, here's what I think. 3 possible scenarios. Triple H has resigned. Triple H has been fired. WWE has got a buyer and the deal is moving fast. I think that's too soon. The Triple H comes to mind because that's probably the biggest news that wrestling fans would be thinking of. That's the big news that wrestling fans would be thinking of. Grayson Waller has got Bron. That doesn't mean it is the news, of course. That doesn't mean that it actually is what's happening. New tweet. Biggest wrestling news of the day. New Godzilla movie, Kentucky won, Gallus returned. Sean Rossap's just talking about NXT at the moment. Nick Khan is now the sole CEO following Stephanie McMahon's resignation. Sole CEO. That's amazing, isn't it? Nick Khan is the... Who thought when Nick Khan would come in that he would end up being the sole CEO? Gives him considerable power, but I think Vince still has, like, ultimate say. What would be in the... he's got the voting power, hasn't he? The 80-odd% voting power. But CEO, I mean, there is no higher position. In through the ropes, knee strike there by Grayson Waller. Bron Breakker goes down to... Oh, super close. Super close. Monster news imminent. That was still 15 minutes ago. Raw did 1.7. 1.7 for Raw. The monster news is the return of Maven, said Wrestle with Andy. Vince has really shook things up. Oh my God, now we've got another rope that's gone. Is that another turnbuckle? What's up with this flipping ring? What's up with this ring? Did they have interns build it? Why have the ropes broken again? NXT Championship on the line. Why does the ring keep breaking? Bell sounds. It's a count out. Weird. Weird. Grayson Waller loses. He was on the ropes. The ropes broke. He spilled to the outside. He couldn't get back into the ring in time. Yeah, weird finish. Bron Breakker retains. So, ropes break again. God. Grayson. Count out. Does that mean rematch for Vengeance Day, do you think? There we go. We might as well end the poll now. Will Bron Breakker lose the title? No, 52%. Yes, 47%. It was close. And I agree. I thought it was close. I thought there was a chance it could happen tonight. I really did. Tell you what, Grayson Waller needs to find the people that set up that ring, and he needs to make them all humble. How does a ring break twice? Ball. Chance. I could hear the word ball. Shizzle being chanted. We're backstage with Roxanne. Shouldn't there be something in place where even with majority voting power, if the owner does something as horrendous as what Vince has done, it should be cancelled out, that voting power, and stop them? Well, to be honest, he's not guilty of anything, is he? What's he guilty of? He's guilty of giving women money. Now, they never deemed that him not disclosing that was bad enough for any action. So, well, I mean, like, he's not guilty of the things he's alleged of doing. He's not been found guilty of those. I mean, is he guilty? Probably. There's no way of truly knowing if they are just allegations or whatever, but there's a lot of smoke in that kitchen. So it's one of them, isn't it? I mean, like, if he was guilty of these things, there would be a way of dealing with it because he'd be in prison. Imagine Ted Turner buys WWE. That would be the ultimate irony. Raw was up against college football. Next week, it'll be up against the huge NFL playoff game. It will be ugly. Next big rating for Raw is in a couple of weeks' time. That was dumb, said Mitchell. Weird match. Still champion, Bron Breakker, said Kwan. WWE has confirmed to Wrestling Inc. that Paul Triple H Levesque will remain in place as Chief Content Officer. Okay. That doesn't stop Triple H Levesque resigning out of anger for how his wife has been treated. But that's just speculation, in it. Well, it's not even speculation. I don't know. Ladies Rumble main event. Seems like it must be a big return. Maybe Mandy or Chelsea. Although, if Vince is back, he might bring Mandy back. He might appreciate what Mandy brings to the company. Boobs. He was a big fan during the Attitude Era. WWE Boobs Out has been rescheduled for 12:45. Days, I want Mandy back, said Trey. Well, I'm afraid she chose her boobs over you. It's as simple as that. People still complain Raw is boring, even under Triple H. So why are they having a meltdown if Vince returns and nothing satisfies the community? I don't know, to be honest. I mean, like, you're always going to have people complain, but I think the majority, if you was to ask wrestling fans, has the product improved under Triple H? People, the majority, I think, would say yes. I think they would either say it's the same or it's improved. I don't think anyone would say it's got worse. So I think you're still going to have people complaining that it's not changed enough. People complaining that it's, everyone's got an idea of what they want from wrestling. And if they don't get that, then they'll complain. But I would stand by that the vast majority would say that wrestling has improved under Triple H. Or at least stayed the same. If Vince comes back, I think we're looking at things taking a step backwards. Someone tweeted, "Oh, James, you little tease. You little tease. Someone just tweeted," and then he deleted it. He took it away. Something to do with Meltzer. Raw and SmackDown are far better under Triple H, said Kyle. Laurinaitis is back, said Exposing. Is that the news? John Laurinaitis is back? Dave Meltzer tweet. Is that the news? Laurinaitis is back. Dave Meltzer. Have a look. Meltzer. Is something major about to break? Dave said feels like it. Just to clarify, Stephanie is off the board of directors. The election evidently took place after her resignation. WWE Board of Directors unanimously voted Vince to be the new executive chairman of the boards. Tony Khan is the sole CEO. WWE just confirmed it to us, and Stephanie posted a letter. Hasn't confirmed at the moment, but those in the company believe it to be true. Okay, well, someone said, Dave, is something big going to happen? And Dave went, feels like it. Is something big happening, Dave? Definitely feels that way. Do you know what it is, Dave? Sean's just watching NXT by the looks of it. I mean, fair play. Why not? Have a lovely night. Enjoy yourself. But what's this news? What is this news? Triple H is WWE always. Vince harassed Sable, but Brock works for WWE, said in Sean Rossap. Sean Rossap. Cal's in the know. Cal knows. Here we go. Sappy. Guys, one of hot rumors is that Saudi buyers are interested in WWE. I've gained no actual information thus far to indicate this is actually happening. Okay. Outside of a few vague hinted messages, WWE contacts claim to not know what the hints were about. I've heard this already, that Saudi were interested. Well, that's what he's saying, isn't it? That's the rumor, that Saudi are interested, but he's not gained any. I don't think that's not the hot news. The hot news isn't, I've heard rumors about Saudi, but I can't find anything out about it. I don't think that's the big news. It's a slight false alarm. Sappy putting out a tweet. in fairness, he could put anything out right now and people will jump on it. Because everyone's, right now, the whole wrestling world's just floating between Dave, Sean Ross Sapp, and Brian Alvarez. Everyone's just floating around these people, waiting for one of them to drop this big news. There's every chance that nothing actually drops tonight. There's every chance that there's nothing else. But 25 minutes ago, Brian Alvarez, I think Monster News is imminent. So he's been tipped off about something. Do you think that was? Do you think he got tipped off about Steph resigning? He had that saved as like a tweet he was going to put out. And he thought, oh, I can't send this now because it's happened. And he's accidentally sent it. And now everyone thinks there's more news. Probably not. Right, Charlie Dempsey making his way down to the ring. We got 35 minutes left of this show. I mean, it's an impossible show to really pay attention to be honest. If you are paying close attention to it, I mean, I am watching it, but paying close attention, I'd be lying. If you are managing to do that, then you are a better person than me. And there's plenty of better people out there than me. So, right, here we go then. So it is Charlie Dempsey taking on Hank Walker. And I think after this, we might be looking at going to the Battle Royal, because that's going to take some time. You're not going to do a 20-woman Battle Royal in 5 minutes. You got to get everyone in the ring, so how long have we got? 35. A little bit of an overrun. If Saudi buy WWE, it's over for the company. If Saudi buy WWE, then it won't just be a case of like loser leaves WWE. There'll be beheadings and everything, won't there? They'll proper go. We'll go there. No shame. Justin said 26 minutes left and 2 matches. I wonder what happened to him. What have I missed? What's happening with WWE? What haven't you missed? Did you see the Steph statements? Steph statements, pretty big news. Steph is gone. She's done, mate. She's walked off, and apparently there's some big news that's on the way. Big news incoming is what we're hearing. But nothing has dropped yet. Rumors are Chelsea Green is going to join Toxic Attraction. That's not the big. Rumors are Chelsea Green is going to join Toxic Attraction. Oh. What's this? Shawn Michaels said, I hear you. I'm on it. I will have something by the end of the show. What, you know what the big news is, Shawn? Do you really hear us, Shawn? I hear you. I'm on it. I mean, he would know. He's got a great relationship with Triple H. So, I mean, honestly, Shawn, to be honest, mate, right now, I don't think you need to be worrying about the ropes and all of that stuff. I think get on the blower to Triple H, right? Find out what's happening there. I tell you what, if they started doing stuff like that, NXT would become absolutely flipping unmissable. Why don't they do this? You've got all this drama playing out in the boardroom. They're all about content. They could be using NXT tonight to be giving us updates on what's happening in their own company. That's what the wrestling world really wants. I'm interested in Hank Walker versus Charlie Dempsey. Tell me what's happening with Triple H. Tell me what's happening with Steph. Tell me what's happening with Vince. Give me that on NXT. Like, it's funny, isn't it? That something that would generate them so many views, something that would genuinely have people's attention, and it's the talk of they're not touching it. That's not part of their actual content that they're putting out. And honestly, you wouldn't think anything would be off limits for them. I know you've got to be careful with like shareholders and like all that kind of stuff. But if Triple H was staying, it would be nothing for Triple H to phone in. And I just want to give you an update of what's happened this evening. You know, you put a message out saying Triple H is going to be on NXT in 15 minutes. NXT will do its best rating ever. To the moon. Hank Walker had Charlie Dempsey in a bit of trouble there. Big clubbing blow coming in. Right, Dempsey trying to get over to the ropes. That's a lovely hold. And it's a great win there by Charlie Dempsey. Charlie Dempsey. I was just putting that Steph video up on Facebook. I think it does share it again on Twitter. So if you do see it on Twitter, that's just the reason why. If I share some on Facebook, I've got the two connected. It just saves time. Right, let's jump into the chat. Dempsey wins. Dempsey does win. Dempsey with a victory. There's Sol Ruka getting ready backstage. Sol. I feel like I owe you. The match says Alba Fire. You want the match or not? I'm giving you an opportunity. Alba Fire just getting a bit snappy there. Are we seeing a bit of a heel turn, maybe? Tyler Bate. Oh, Batey boy. Is he on his way back, is he? I haven't seen him in a hot minute. Two-time NXT UK champ. You deserve it. Right, Daze. Apparently, Mr. McMahon is going to be in the Rumble. If the Saudis buy WWE, what happens with Sammy? He might just let his contract run out and then go to AEW, to be honest. I don't think he would want to... I don't think he would want to work for them. I mean, it's one thing having Saudi owners. I would imagine that would then mean that they would have shows over in Saudi a fair bit. They wouldn't. I don't think they would move the whole company over to Saudi. I think you would lose what makes WWE WWE. So I don't think it's not like they would like move, but I think they would still stay in America and be based in America. That's something else as well, though, isn't it? That's like all these things that you just take for granted. What if some foreign national does buy it and then moves it away from America? Anonymous. What was that? NXT Anonymous. NXT Anonymous. Even if you don't see me, I have eyes and ears. So NXT Anonymous showing scripts. Can I just say, and I know this isn't important, NXT Anonymous has just filmed scripts leaving a message for Oro Mensah, right? And I think Oro Mensa put a tweet out saying, who has been, like, around my stuff? Who's been around my stuff? Who's, like, you know, someone's left a message, who's been sneaking around my stuff? It said Scripps on the note in big letters. It says Scripps. Like, Oro Mensa should know who's been around his stuff. And NXT Anonymous has not exposed anything. He's just shown us Scripps actually leaving the note that says Scripps written on it. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Maybe that would make more sense if it didn't have his name written on it. But I'm sure it said Scripps in big letters on it. I'm going to have to rewatch it because, I mean, clearly not the most important thing going on in wrestling tonight. Or is it? Or is it? Right, well, right now we've got Jinder taking on Julius. It's J versus J. They could work together and they could be a security team, couldn't they? If Saudis buy, does it mean women in WWE get covered up in every match? Don't think so. Not well, yes, in Saudi, but probably not in America. Today, whilst I don't know what they do actually. I mean, they know who these superstars are, so they must show WWE on TV in Saudi, because the Saudi fans know who all these people are. It's not like they cut out the women. It's not like when the women come out, you get a warm applause. Like, people are chanting EST, like they're proper into the characters. So they must show them on TV in Saudi Arabia. And they must show them, you know, as they are on TV. So it only seems to be when there's the live event that they get covered up in Saudi Arabia. So I don't think they would cover them up if they kept them based in America. If they moved it to Saudi and did live shows in Saudi, then yeah, maybe the women would have to be covered up then. But even if Saudis buy it, I don't think they're going to move it and base it in Saudi. I think you just lose the field. You lose too much of what makes WWE WWE. You'd be buying a successful brand and changing its essence, really, at its essence, at its core. You know, the fan base and all of that kind of stuff. It's all based in America. It's the biggest market for it as well, of course. So I don't think they'd move it. Executive Chairman Mr. McMahon and Nick Khan will be moving to a new building for their WWE HQ, which is a bigger warehouse where all WWE staff will be together, says Adam. That sounds nice. Sounds like a cult. The women are blurred on Saudi TV, said Sandman. Does Vince make an appearance? I don't know what they do. They must just show them. I don't think they'd blur them. I don't know what they would do. Maybe Hitler comes back from the dead. Maybe. Big news. Nikki Bella is going to have a 4-part wedding special. Come on. Misfits predictions. KSI wins. I don't know who else is fighting. I haven't seen the cards. Vince is back and will appear at the Rumble. Let's have a look. I mean, I'm just on tenterhooks, like the same as all of you. Big news imminent within the next 2 weeks. His implying WWE will announce Vince to appear at the Rumble, by the way. Again, no indication this is happening, but that's what he means. I'm not reporting this. So, this Zero News, who Sean Rossap doesn't like, is saying big news imminent within the next couple of weeks. Big news is imminent within the next few weeks, right? Sean has said Zero News is implying WWE are going to announce Vince will be at the Rumble. There is no indication that this is happening. That's from Sean Rossap. Raj says, you know this tweet I sent out 2 hours ago? I heard this from some higher-ups in WWE, and maybe not. Oh, he's deleted it, so I don't know what it said. He's tagged a tweet that is deleted, so how am I meant to know what he said 2 hours ago? Don't know what that was. God, everyone's scrambling at the moment. So Raj, who runs Wrestling Inc., he tweeted something out 2 hours ago. He's now sent a message out saying, you know this tweet, and he's tagged it that I sent out. Maybe not. But he's deleted it, so I haven't got a clue what he said. I don't know what he said. Whatever it was, 2 hours ago. Maybe not. This Monster News has been 41 minutes now. Me and Brian Alvarez have got different interpretations of imminent. If something's imminent and I'm still waiting for it over 40 minutes later, if I went to a waiter and I said, excuse me, when's the food actually coming? And he went, oh, it's imminent. It's imminent. Like, oh, good. Right, okay. Here we go. Get ready, guys. Get sorted. Flipping imminent. Here we go. Any seconds, it must be set. Imminent is the word is used. And I've got my thing tucked in and I'm ready to go. I don't know why I've got 2 knives, but I do. It's the only cutlery I have to hand. And I'll make it work. Do you know what I mean? As long as it's not soup, I'll be fine. And I'm waiting. And then 40 minutes later, I've still not got my food. Like, we have got very, very different interpretations of the words imminent. Very different interpretations. Harley said, the original tweet from Raj said Triple H will remain in charge of creative, but now he's saying maybe not. Well, I wish he hadn't have flipping deleted that tweet. Oh, okay. Well, that is big news then, innit? Maybe the trip news is coming. I think monster news is imminent. We ain't jumping the gun. We ain't doing anything until we see it confirmed. Until we see it confirmed. Raj said 2023 is effing nuts, and we're not even 2 weeks in. It is true. It is true. I did a video a week ago that was meant to go up. I spoke about it earlier, and it was meant to be a prediction for the year. And I'll tell you now, my big thing that I said in there is I said, and it was only joking, but I said, I think Triple H and Steph are going to get a divorce. But I've still got it recorded. From like over a week ago. So I think that the pressure of her running the company and of him being in charge of creative is going to drive a wedge in that marriage. And we had fun with it. And all of this, literally a few days later after it had been recorded, boom, you know, we get the news coming out that Vince is back. So I was like, well, I can't put this up now because like everything we've said is irrelevant. Oh my God. Little did I know, just 1 week later, it would be even more irrelevant. Steph's gone. Steph's gone, and we might be on the verge of hearing about Triple H being gone as well. Come on. Come on. Take for Triple H to write the words, I'm out of here. Listen, if that happens, if Triple H goes, then you can start panicking about Bray and everyone then, you know, you can start worrying. Because someone else will be in charge of creative and might not share that, probably won't share that vision. Knowing Vince, he'll put Bruce in charge of creative. Bruce Pritchard will be in charge of creative. What if he went and got Jim Cornette? Guy, this is mental. This is mental. How am I meant to watch any wrestling show right now? I had that happen before. They said our food was coming soon, and we were still waiting an hour later, said Dan. Everyone on Twitter everyone's on Twitter instead of watching NXT. Tony said Triple H is done. Jinder coming over, big boots. Jinder in control. We've still got the women's battle royal. WWE release a list of people fired tomorrow. The list is 5 pages long. I've got real fears for Gunther's future, says Jilly. I mean, look, he said he would be watching. I think he probably was. Jinder won, by the way. That's a big win for Jinder, you know. That's Jinder's biggest win since he won the flipping title. Kicks Julius in the face. Former champion. I mean, that's actually a really great result, you know. I never really thought about, like, who should win this or how it should go down. But having Jinder win against someone as talented and as great as Julius Creed, I think that's a really credible win for Jinder. We got Jensen and Kiana James, Fallon and Briggs. A lot of injuries tonight. Fallon said she's looking at Brooks and she doesn't like what she sees. That's a bit nasty. Welcome to the generation of Jades. Welcome to Jade's generation. It's Jade's world. Excellent. Party time. I'd so watch a movie called Jade's World. Right. Women Royale. With Jade. Oh, lovely Women Royale. Can we extend the stream an extra 30 minutes just in case any major news blows up? What's imminent? I mean, what does imminent mean? What does imminent mean? I mean, for me, imminent would have happened by now. If I was Brian Alvarez's wife and I called him up and I was like, when are you home? And he said imminent. And I'm like, well, I'm going to start plating up then. But once I've plated up, I can't put this back in the oven. And he's like, no, imminent. Okay. You better not be late. Snuggles. You better not be late. And I'm still sat here 50 minutes later and he's not come back home. I mean, I'm sorry to say it's divorce. It's divorce. I'm sorry. I'm a simple woman. It's as simple as, if you're going to give me news that you're coming back imminently, and you went back 50 minutes later, what am I even doing in my life? I could have got with Trevor. He's got his own business. High flyer. He's got a Rolex. Yeah, I'm here slaving away in the kitchen for someone that lies to me on the phone, says they're back imminently, and 50 minutes, I'm, stood with 2 plates of food, cold food in my hand. And that's how you treat this marriage. It's a one-way street. There has to be give and take in a relationship. And I'm sorry to say, Brian just takes. So it's over. It's over. This will come as quite a surprise to him. This is the imminent breaking news that we've been waiting for. Me and Brian Alvarez had a divorce. I've got a bad feeling about Triple H. I got a feeling. He usually retweets NXT posts, and today he hasn't. That's not proof, but it does look bad. If he steps down from creative, I will probably stop watching. Breaking Bray Wyatt is the head of creative, said Wrestle with Andy. We're looking forward to Steph and Shane versus Jade and Shaq on AEW tomorrow. Daze, I'm so happy Vince is back. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Bray. Hello, Ronda, as new SmackDown Women's Champion. And hello, Cody, winging the Rumble. He's going to wing it. Fine. Yeah. If you're not a Bray fan, fine. If you want to see Ronda, I mean, I don't even know if Ronda wants to be a SmackDown Women's Champion, to be honest. I think she might want out. HHHH is gone. Who's Brian Alvarez? He's works on Wrestling Observer with Dave Meltzer. So you've got Dave Meltzer and you've got his BFF, best friend forever, Brian Alvarez. But yeah, Brian Alvarez has said that there is news. 51 minutes ago, that imminent news was, by the way. 51 minutes ago. I would put a jokey message out saying me and Brian have very different ideas of imminent, but to be honest, those kind of jokes don't play that well on Twitter, do they? Because people think you're serious. People think you're being moody. When I'm English and I'm very sarcastic. It's just in my nature. Cassidy of bodyslam.net. I just got tagged in this from Chris. Chris, shout out to you. Cassidy Hayes of bodyslam.net said, if what I just heard is true, holy ship. If what I just heard is true, holy ship. Who's she? Stevie Turner. He's got a nice microphone. She does have a great voice, actually. I'll be downloading you on the life of Stevie. I mean, she's got a nice voice, and she could definitely do streaming. She could be on the radio, actually, but please don't use terminology like that. I'm going to download you everything you need to know about Stevie. We're going to surf the information highway together. Please don't say that. I like her, though. I like her. I'm on board with seeing Stevie. I don't know what I'll be seeing, though, if this imminent news is going to break soon. Right, how long have we got? We got a few minutes to go. There is an overrun, and we are underway with the Battle Royale. Look at what Cassidy Hayes tweeted. He's posted again. Oh, I just did actually. Damn it. Is Cora Jade gone? She was my pick. Cora Jade's gone within the first few seconds. Oh, my God. I'm going to have to download myself some new wrestling knowledge, aren't I? Women, that'll do. But he's tweeted again. Let's go back. What's that? Breaking news. Just to be clear, I haven't heard that Triple H is being fired. I think he'll be moved to a new division before he quits. Oh, my God. Everyone jump in my shiz for not reporting something I haven't been able to vet through enough sources yet. I'll report it when I can confirm it, because if it's true, it's probably the biggest story in wrestling history. What the flip is going on? Oh my God. Billy Kay really is returning. Again, guys, you have to remember, I'm English. I've got that sarcasm. It's just part of who I am. It's part of my DNA, right? I see something like this, and I just have to, I just have to get sarcastic with it. I just have to get down and dirty. That's just who I am. This is big, though, from Raj. Just to be clear, I haven't heard Triple H is being fired. I think he'll be moved to a new division before he quits. I mean, that's quite the statement, isn't it? That's quite the thing to come out with. Guys, calm down. I don't think Triple H has been fired. Guys, will you please calm down? I only think that he's going to get moved to a different division and then quit. I don't think he's been fired. Just calm down, would you? Stop making these stories up. Stop making a big deal out of nothing. Guys, come on, please. Vince, I'm not saying that Vince is going to fire his son-in-law. I just think he's going to move him to a completely different division and force him out the company. Guys. Right, we got a big boot. Tell you what, I need to get this picture ready, don't I? There we go. Look, angry looking Triple H is ready for when this news does drop. What the flip have I missed? Oh, you're missing it all, mate. You're missing it all. People are now sending me Billy Kay GIFs, which I love. It's final because it makes perfect sense. WWE is going with private with the investors. Vince lawsuit has got more serious. Vince has full control due to new owners. Triple H walks. And I am watching AEW Impact and New Japan tomorrow. Oh my god. Oh my god, 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 oh my god. Come on, Billy. Come on, Billy. 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 How are we meant to watch this? How am I meant to concentrate on anything? Where's this? Imminent. 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 Do you know what imminent means? Cora Jade on the outside is still livid. Imminent. Right, thankfully we've gone to commercial break. Thankfully we've gone to commercial break as we're just scrolling like a pig. Trying to get any little nugget of truffle that we can. Just trying to get as much truffle as possible. The biggest thing we've seen is the one that's been sent over. And that is the one from Raj saying, I'm not saying that he's been fired. I just think he's going to get moved to a different division and then quit. That's the biggest one we've seen so far. I am loving all these Billy Kay pictures that people are sending. I am loving this. I'm getting, do you know what? This is great. I'm getting so many Billy Kay GIFs and pictures being sent through as people are responding and replying to that tweet. It's really going to be interesting if it is Saudi that buys the company. Let's hope they don't keep Vince around. We should have all chipped in $100 and bought it whilst we had the chance. Yeah, that is true, but we would be awful because we wouldn't agree on anything, would we? Imagine if the fans owned WWE. Who would? We'd have to agree to just let Triple H stay in charge of creative, wouldn't we? But then that would be wrestling is toxic anyway. Like people haven't got money invested in it. Imagine if you had money invested in it and he was giving you a show you weren't that keen on. God, things get toxic as it is. Things would get even worse if we were all part owners. Then you'd get people like, I swear, guys, I'm going to take my £100 out. I'm taking my investment out. This product is not what I want it to be. You'd have that all the time on Twitter. Be a nightmare. Cassidy Hayes tweets. Cassidy Hayes tweets. Cassidy Hayes. Is it the one we've seen or the one is it another one? Is it the one about probably the biggest story in the history of ever? Sounds like most of us in the media are hearing the same thing. Billy Kay. Guys, it's flipping Billy Kay. Billy Kay is back, baby. Yes. Here's my resume. Brilliant. Come on. This is what we want. This is what I've never felt so alive. This is my resume. Yes, Jackson. Love it. Yes. 10K. Love it. I'm just getting Billy Kay gifs. Yes. Billy Kay to Triple H right now, showing her resume. Bad Barrett, shout out to you. Oh my God, what if Billy Kay's put in charge of creative? That would be the best. That would be the best. What if Billy Kay's bought the company? An hour. It has now been an hour. Honestly, if I was married to Brian Alvarez and he said that he was going to be home in an hour or home imminent and he still wasn't back, I would have phoned the police. I would have phoned the police by now. I would have the army out looking for him. Me and him have got such different interpretations of the word imminent. Greg, Jaden, loving it. Loving it. Likes all round. I want to make sure that I'm even following these people. If people are going to send me pictures and GIFs of Billy Kay, I want to make sure that I'm at least following these people. Not all of them. I am now. Boom. Right, we're still underway with this Battle Royale. Out goes Nikita Lyons. Zoe Stark's in there with Sol Ruka. Is Sol Ruka going to win this? She has, Has Ruka won it? No? There's no mass cheering. It feels like there might be one more person, is there? Oh, there's a few, actually. It looked like she was the last person in the ring. So, Sol Ruka, Alba Fire, JC Jane, some other people. That's Valkyria, Taya Valkyria, whatever her name is. Sol Ruka's eliminated. She went from person I thought had won to now eliminated. We're down to 4. JC Jane. And 3 people that aren't JC Jane. There is Gigi. There's Alba Fire. There is Valkyria, whatever her name is. I like her, actually, the Valkyria woman. I can't remember her name. Oh, Triple H rumors. As of now, he is still listed as... But who knows what might happen. Right now, he is still listed as COO. KJ, following you. Nick Khan, CEO. Paul Levesque, Chief Content Officer. Frank A. Riddick is President and Chief Financial Officer. Kevin Dunn, Executive Producer and Chief Global Television Distribution. What's going on with the game? What's going on with the game? Anna. Why have you sent me that? Anna sent me a gif of Eva Marie saying when WWE needs a hero. Kick to the back of the head by Valkyria. Alba Fire eliminated. Alba Fire eliminated. Oh, Watson, that's an amazing one. That's amazing. Now Valkyria's gone. Imminent. 1 hour later. Some of these are amazing. Some of these memes are amazing. BN Drake's just put a fantastic one. I love that. I've retweeted it. In fact, I'll try and download it and show you. We have come down to Billy Kay. JC, no, don't do it, JC. Ooh, JC kicks at Gigi, and Gigi on the edge of the ring. JC was about to eliminate herself, and Gigi was like, JC, stop. She did. She walloped her. Toxic Attraction. But look at these two fighting whilst Mommy's away. Me and you together, said Gigi. Me and you together. JC said it's all right. I'll go. I'll go. Wonder why she changed her mind. Why did she start climbing over the ropes and then go, nah, forget this. Bang. JC is up top. Gigi and JC fighting away. Is this the big news? Is this the imminent news that Toxic Attraction would be the final two and they'd start fighting each other? Forearm strike by JC. GG is Toxic are done. I don't know. Perhaps, you know, we've seen teams having to, you know, it was people fighting for themselves. I'm sure they can come back from this. Ooh, both eliminated at the same time. So are they going to have a match? I like it. I like it. Both hit each other at the same time. Both get eliminated at the same time. Referees swear that this one hit the ground first. In fairness, there's about 3 or 4. Three referees say that it's JC. Only one said GG. Give it JC. Give it JC. Look at that dude. Dude's got his head in his hands. His hands on his head. He can't believe it. Wait till he hears about Triple H. Wait till he hears about what's happened with Steph. Jeez, mate, you're not going to believe it. There's a dude like this at what's just happened at the end of NXT. Wait till he checks his phone. That was the most shocking thing I have ever seen. Nothing is going to shock me more than what I've just seen. Let's see what's... Slow-mo replay. GG hit first. JC wins. What's happened with Triple H? He is all elite. He's all elite, baby. What are we doing now? Both winning. Both winning. The winner. The winners. They both win. So, are they not going to make them have a match? What do we mean they both win? Triple threat. Roxanne Perez coming out. Staring at Twitter for imminent news, but it's been an hour, said Going Ghost. I know, where is this imminent news? Roxanne Perez has come out then. She's holding up that title. Triple threat. It is going to be a triple threat. What happened tonight is not how anyone wants a championship match to end. What does this mean for Sean? Triple threat. So they're going to do a rematch, aren't they, at Vengeance Day? Steel cage. Steel cage, Grayson versus Bron. Oh, I can't wait, mate. I can't wait. So, steel cage match made. Right. Well, I mean, look, the problem is, when's this imminent news dropping? When is the imminent news dropping? Oh, Reddit Insider, Kermit125. Big. Guys, big. Big. I get all my news from the Muppets. So, Reddit Insider Kermit125. In all fairness, the 124 Kermits that came before, they were fake news. But Kermit125, the Dave Meltzer of Reddit, who has leaked tons of stories in the past, is saying that WWE has been sold. WWE has not confirmed this yet via a press release or announcement. WWE rumored to have been sold. WWE rumored to have been sold. The thing is, you can't put a video out or talk about it because all I can do is go, there's a rumor WWE have been sold. Who to? Don't know. How much for? Don't know. When's it come into effect? Don't know. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. So I mean, you can't do anything on that. But here's what I see. Here's what I see. Here's what I see. And this is that stupid black dark mode that my computer's in, which I don't think has really helped with anything. Reddit Insider Kermit125, who has leaked tons of stories in the past, is saying that WWE has been sold. WWE have not confirmed this via a press release or announcement. Guys, it's seemingly less and less likely right now that it's going to be Billy Kay. That's going to come as a big disappointment to a lot of you. But yeah, this is we're on the cutting edge here of news at the moment. Sharp in it, sharp on the cutting edge of news. This dropped 4 minutes ago. If it is to the Saudis, I've no idea what the future of the company looks like. Update. WWE has been sold. It's just speculation. There's no confirmation. It's just, you know, we've literally just gone from Triple H leaving to the company being sold. Well, here goes. Whatever this is going to be in a few minutes, my guess is Sean will be joining us. He's implying it's going to be in the Rumble. Maybe. Sean says maybe. Maybe. What? Bang. WWE have said the old headquarters is getting sold, not the company. It's fake news, said Adam. Saudi Arabia Wrestling Entertainment. It's not Billy Kay. Does that mean it's Peyton? Said John. Triple T is here. Triple T, how you doing, mate? Do you remember earlier when we recorded the Wrestling Escape Pods, which we do on a Wednesday, guys? And we said, oh, there's a bit of news. Might as well get it done tonight. I'll try and get it out tonight because, you know, big news. Get it out now about Jay White. Remember that? Do you remember when we recorded that and we spoke about Switchblades and if we thought he was going to go to WWE or AEW? I don't think I can put that out now because it's sort of a little bit like everyone standing around in the street staring at a fire, you know, in an apartment block and people like, you know, screaming and women running out the building and all this. And then there's just like, you know, us over in the corner going, have you seen this little penny that I found? Have you seen this? Have you seen it? Like everyone is looking at the fire that's happening. Like, I don't think we can be over here going, have you seen this penny? Look at that. It's perfectly shiny, you know. Perfectly shiny. Look at that. That's not a blemish on it. That is lovely. That is. I don't think I can put that video up. Everyone is what? Like, Steph has resigned. Triple H is potentially walking out. The Saudis might have bought We're on the verge of the biggest story ever. We're on the verge of the biggest story ever. Oh, from what I'm told, Body Slam Network said, for what it's worth, I'm told the Saudi deal is done and they are taking the company private. Oh my God. Oh my God. So that's the news. That's the rumor. That's the rumor. Saudi deal done. Saudi deal done. We need to start all learning Saudi. Wow. Wow. I mean, who thought on the day that Stephanie McMahon would resign and leave? Doesn't Stephanie's resignation make a lot more sense now? Doesn't Stephanie's resignation, all of it, do you remember when we started this stream and we were talking about Stephanie resigning? And we were like, well, man, she must have really fallen out with Vince and all this kind of stuff. Well, flippity-doo-dah. You fast forward a little bit and all of a sudden things make a lot more sense, don't they? Hey, Steph, you might as well go now because we've sold the company and fun facts, we've sold it to the Saudis. He must have been working on this deal. I mean, he did not just come back and do this deal. He must have been working on this deal. I also think this is probably really good news for Bray, by the way, because Bray is someone that I think the Saudis probably really like, probably into that kind of stuff. You know, the mystery, spookiness. Like, they seem to eat that stuff up, so this might not be the worst news for Bray. I don't know what this news means for anyone, to be perfectly truthful. Alvarez should have said monster news imminent, just not next. Just not yet. There goes USA announce tables. The Saudi one is going to stay intact. The Saudi announce table. Oh, man, it's wild, isn't it? It is wild. Do you know, I mean, what does this mean for the future of everything we know and love? What does it mean for the future of everything we know and love? What does it mean? What does any of this mean? This is just mental. This is mental. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should be doing a video on it and talking about it. I don't know if I need to wait for it to be confirmed. I mean, I feel like I need to wait for it to be confirmed, but even just these rumors from different sources now, it's not even the same source. You know, bodyslam.net, not a source I ever use, but bodyslam.net have come out, said, oh my God, I've heard something that's the biggest news ever. They're now saying, for what it's worth, I've heard the Saudis have bought it. So we've got them. We've got this Reddit user that's come out and leaked that the news is that it's been sold. Like, this isn't just from one source. This is now from a couple of sources saying that it's been sold. And you've got the Brian Alvarez summit big is imminent news as well. So I sort of feel like we've got a story here. I feel like we can put some pieces together to, you know, at least have a story. Whether this is true, I don't know, do I? Whether this is just a lot of smoke at the moment and we don't actually know, I don't know. But that is certainly where the situation is at the moment. Everyone is telling you it's fake, says Adam. Well, I don't know that it's fake, do I? I mean, bodyslam.net are saying it. It's coming from this Reddit guy as well. I'm sitting here saying I don't know what the truth is. I don't know what the truth is, do I? You've been on the same journey that I've been on. But bodyslam.net are reporting it. This Reddit user is reporting it. Brian Alvarez is saying massive news imminent. Dave Meltzer has said he believes big news is dropping tonight. Seems like the company could go private. Saudi buying WWE sounds sickening. I don't know. I don't know. This is where the conversation is right now. This is where the conversation is right now. Sean Ross Sapp. More on hot Saudi rumor that the WWE is sale. I haven't confirmed any of this at all, but you guys want to know all of the dark Twitter tweets are about. So Sean Ross Sapp saying that he can't get that confirmed. So Sean Ross Sapp can't confirm the sale at the moment. If what I heard is true, WWE played a PR move to do this on a Tuesday. It's very possible main roster employees could walk out. Preying on talent fighting for a job is gross sublayer. Huh? If what I heard is true, WWE played a PR move by doing it on a Tuesday. Very possible main roster employees walk out. Preying on talent fighting for a job.
I never needed you
I don't even know what that means. What does that mean? What difference does it matter if they announce it on a Tuesday or whatever? Right, this Cal said Kevin Owens and Sammy won't stay around now. Sitter, shout out to you. Adam said the real news is WWE is selling the old headquarters. We don't know, though, that that's the real news, Adam, do we? I mean, like, that's old news. We know that the headquarters sale has been put on hold. They were meant to move back in 2019, 2020, something like that. They were meant to move back then, but it got put on hold in 2020. I think they looked at the expenditure of that move because they were trying to cut costs. Like, it got put on hold. If they're going to restart that process now, then that's interesting, but it's nowhere near selling the company interesting. It's nowhere near Stephanie resigning interesting. It's nowhere near Triple H level interesting. So I don't know. I mean, like, there is a lot of noise at the moment about big news. And honestly, the moving of headquarters is not it. That's not big news because that's already been announced that they're doing that. That's old news. It got put on hold. So them restarting that process, it would be news, but not this. I mean, we've got journalists running around screaming their heads off at the moment. There is so much smoke and so much activity and so many people like running around going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, they are clearly, and not just the same person, but different people are clearly hearing things. Things are clearly being said that are getting this cause of panic and this cause of, people running around. Brian Alvarez has heard something for him to tweet out about massive imminent news. Now you've got these, the Reddit user tweeting something out. Body Slam had apparently already heard something, and they came out and started confirming what they heard as soon as they saw the Reddit news. So it seems like what Body Slam heard, they're now happy to say is what they've heard. Now that they've seen the Reddit users saying the exact same thing. So unless this is a rumor that is doing the rounds behind the scenes and it's a rumor that's fake, which at this stage we just don't know, there feels like there's a lot of smoke here. There feels like there's a lot going on. But it's so hard to know what the latest is because everyone's sort of teasing and no one wants to say it because I think they're really struggling. I think, to be honest, this is the kind of news that you can't go to talent with and go, is it true? Because they ain't going to know. The Bailey and Seth and Roman, they ain't sat there with knowledge of, they're probably trying to find out themselves. So they ain't gonna know. It's at board level, in it. I mean, it's Triple H, it's maybe Sean, it's Steph, it's Vince, it's Nick Khan, it's that level. At some point it'll get to the talent, but I don't know that it's there yet. But till WWE themselves come out and say something, everything's a rumor. Talent are gonna leave, said Tony. It's been sold, says Elliot. What does it mean for Money in the Bank in the UK? Well, to be honest, I mean, I think it'd probably stay. Everything's up in the air. We don't know when. If it's been sold, we don't know when the sale goes through. So they don't have it until the sale goes through. The sale might not go through until the summer. Might not go through until the end of the year. It might be that they don't want it until. Well, they might want to take it immediately. It might be an immediate sale. I mean, there's gonna have to be some legality to it. There's gonna have to be like all the paperwork and everything. But in fairness, that could have been running in the background for a long time. You know, as soon as Vince went, he might have been working on the sale. Like, I mean, look, he came back. Was it yesterday or whatever? The other day, Friday, whatever it was. Came back the other day, and now he's managed to sell it within a few days. No, and there's clearly been conversations going on behind the scenes. So it's hard to know how far into that process we are. If that process has just started and they've, Saudis have agreed to buy it, well, an agreement needs to be turned into actual paperwork, and that's going to take a process. But we might be further along in that process than we know. God, it's mental. It is mental. This is mental. It's mental, but it's mental because we don't know where the truth lies at the moment. Mark my words, if Saudi Arabia buys WWE, their own audience is not going to watch the product. They don't care about Mansoor. I mean, look, if Saudis buy it, people will watch it because there'll be a lot of intrigue as to what they're going to do with the show. I think they'll keep it largely the same because the brand's working, and I think they'll keep it based in the US and everything. I think over time there will be things that they will want to see. There'll be things they want to see, basically. But to be honest, I think, if you buy Star Wars, you don't rip it all apart and change the narrative and all that kind of stuff. And I think if you buy WWE, you don't get rid of all the American stars and start pumping in Saudi wrestlers. Like, do you know what I mean? They love the characters of Seth and Undertaker and Roman and, everyone you see on TV. Like, if they're buying it, it's because they like the numbers and they like the superstars and they like the appeal of it. They like the product. That's what I was looking for. They like the product. So I really don't think if the Saudis take over, there would be massive changes. I really don't think there'd be massive changes. Sources. Right, what's this? Stephen Mullerhausen is a reporter for DAZN. WWE has been sold to Saudi Arabia. This is from sources. Company will go back to being private. It's unknown if Vince will return as head of creative, but it is expected by some people. Where's that come from? Where's that come from? Where's that come from? So, DAZN are hearing news, and it might just be from the same sources that we're hearing stuff from, that WWE has been sold to Saudi Arabia's public investment funds. The company will go back to being private. Unknown if Vince returns head of creative, but it is being expected. Maybe that's just a throwaway line. Perhaps they just put that in, because they've heard a few fans talking about it. I'm gonna say, if he's heard that Vince is coming back to head of creative, I ain't seen that reported anywhere. I haven't seen that reported anywhere. I was thinking of the game. Wow, if it's true it's sold to the Saudis, it's the women's division goodbye. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think they're making strides in Saudi Arabia with women driving and being able to enjoy more freedoms. I think that Saudi Arabia is trying to progress with that side of things. Don't forget when we first started in Saudi, the women weren't allowed to compete in the ring, and now we're getting several matches on the show. So, and we spoke about it earlier as well, that they must show the women's wrestling so the fans know who the women are. So they can't, digitally put clothes on them. So they must be there must be a level of being able to show the women on TV in Saudi Arabia. It's just live in person. They want them to be respectful, covered up. Maybe when they're on Saudi soil, they want them to be, covered up. So if we're going to do more shows in Saudi Arabia, I definitely think the women will be covered up. But I think that WWE would still be based in America. I think it'd still be based in America. It's mental, innit? Mental. I thought tonight would be boring, said Watson. We're all waiting for news to break. How do you think the wrestlers feel? Well, I think they feel the same, to be honest. Maybe a little bit more. Oh, here we go. It's early morning in Saudi Arabia. If official news comes out tonight, expect it to be soon. Go said, I know you might not respond to this, but if the rumors are true, it goes to show Vince is the biggest narcissist. He could not stand to see the company doing better without him. And with Triple H running creative, this is a sad day for wrestling. I am going to respond to that. Not sure it's about the company doing better without him. The ratings weren't better. I think it's more about getting what he feels he deserves. Yeah, I mean, the ratings weren't better. In fact, Triple H provided some of its lowest ever moments. Some of the lowest ever ratings came from Triple H's run. That's not a reflection of Triple H. The ratings are just in constant decline. So I don't know that you can look at the product with Vince away and say it was a better product. I mean, look, maybe the product itself, the show itself was better, but that's subjective, isn't it? That's subjective. That's, there's people that would say it's better, people that would say it's the same. There's loads of people that just say it feels the same. But if you look at the results of ratings and money and revenue and income and all of that kind of stuff, that wasn't showing like that it was better. So I don't think this is about Vince. I think this image of Vince sitting at home, like being angry that WWE is doing well, is completely wrong because his money is tied up in it. Like, he's the major shareholder. If WWE is doing well, Vince is doing well. Vince would have been sat at home hoping that WWE succeeded. There was no numbers or anything I saw that said that WWE was doing financially better since Vince had gone, or that the ratings were significantly and consistently better since Vince had gone. So there was no indicators there to say that things had gone, to the moon after Vince left. So I really don't think it's about that. I really don't think it's about that. I think it's more about him wanting to get the best price possible for the company. And I think now that we're getting close to the TV deals, I think he feels now is genuinely the time. We can't stick around forever. I know everyone's waiting. I'm waiting. We're all waiting. But no news might come tonight. That's the truth. There might not be any news. There's plenty of rumors circulating out there, but we don't know that there will be any news tonight. So I think we might have to wrap it up. We've stuck around for an extra 20 odd minutes, but yeah, I mean, it's one of those. All night it could be news any minute. You know, it might even be that WWE put out a statement in the morning. You know, right now it's what, 10:30 at night? No, yeah, 10:30 at night East Coast. You know, are they going to put a statement out now, or will they just wait for tomorrow? Don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Legally, I don't know what they have to. If they have sold, legally, I don't know what they have to do. Someone just sending a message about how they might. It feels like the news has very much gone from Triple H now to WWE being sold, doesn't it? That feels like where we are. Okay. Let's wrap this up. The world will break tomorrow. There's a timeline where Ronaldo joins WWE. It's been announced that Saudis have bought it and it's going private, and that Vince may return. WWE is about to be boring again. I've not seen that announced. Let's be crystal clear on that. I've not seen an announcement on it. There's plenty of rumors, but there's nothing in the way of an announcement. Just keep getting sent as different people are saying things. Sean Ross, I mean, right now, 64,000 tweets about Saudi. Stephanie's completely gone. The conversation about Stephanie is old news right now. And the conversation about Jay White just is, I don't even know if it ever happened. But the whole thing now is about Saudi. But yeah, nothing in regards to getting confirmation on it yet. Right, yeah, I'm not going to sit here all night. Well, I am, but I don't know that we're going to get any updates, unfortunately. So we are going to wrap things up there. Big thank you to everyone that's joined us tonight. I know trying to watch NXT was not easy. I know that there's literally the wrestling world is falling apart around us, and I can see that. I will keep an eye on things, and obviously we'll put a video out as and when we get some information. But appreciate the support. We are going to be back tomorrow for AEW. And in all fairness, I have not got a clue. God only knows what we're going to talk on that stream. I mean, yeah, we're going to talk AEW, but who knows what wrestling's going to look like tomorrow? Who knows what wrestling is going to look like in the next few hours? We really could be on the verge of the biggest story ever. If WWE is sold, that is, I think, the biggest wrestling story ever, because it's one thing for Vince to leave, but he still had influence with Steph being around. And there was always the chance he might come back, and ultimately he did. But if WWE is sold, you know, that could be the end of the McMahons. That could be the end of the McMahons. The McMahons could be gone. One of them's already gone. One of them has already gone. So I don't know what the wrestling landscape's going to look like, but we'll obviously keep an eye on it. Have a good evening, and I'll see you tomorrow for AEW. Bye for now.